Right-handed reliever Danny Barnes just promoted to AAA. In his first 8 AAA games, his ERA 0.66, 17 strikeouts, 5 hits over just 13 2/3 innings, so keep that name in mind. Dalton Pompey, going into Friday's game, had a hit and run scored streak of 6 straight games, hitting .500 over that stretch, 12 for 24. That's good to see. And Dominic Brown, the veteran left-handed hitting outfielder, an 8-game hitting streak that came to an end yesterday. He was hitting .355. So enjoy the Blue Jays today and the Bisons tonight beginning at 6.
Well, a lot of Bisons names there, too, that we could see in Blue Jays uniforms before the end of this season. Of course, we know this roster will expand, and they're going to need a lot more than the 25 here right now.
R.A. Dickey's last warm-up pitch is sent down to second by catcher Josh Tolley. Ball goes around the infield and will eventually back into the glove of R.A. Dickey from Josh Donaldson. The Blue Jays today wearing their bright blue shirts and caps with the white numbers, white pants. In their road grays, the Seattle Mariners. Nori Aoki will step to the plate here. Aoki yesterday tripled to open the game, scored the game's first run, and that led to a Seattle 2-1 win. He later doubled, went 2 for 5, and Dickey will try to get him. So Aoki, like Ichiro, who was a great Seattle Mariner, still playing at the age of 42. Stretches, gets loose, he's in there, and on a just plain beautiful day for a ball game, it's time to play ball. Ari's first pitch, knuckles in there for a strike on the outside corner, and with that we are underway. Seth Smith on deck to the right, and then still in that Mariners first base dugout, Robinson Cano. Dickey misses inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Aoki hitting .248. Nori with a home run. He's not a home run hitter. He'll use the whole field. He's driven in 11. He takes it outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. And the next pitch. Hit down the left field line. Playing near the line is the left fielder Michael Saunders. He makes the catch fair by about 10 feet. 1 down.
Fielder number 7, Seth Smith.
So at 1:08 Eastern Daylight Time, we are underway. 32 Celsius degrees. That's 89 degrees Fahrenheit. And you see a fly ball caught like that, and your first thought is pregame preparation and where you stand before the pitch is even thrown.
Well, the Blue Jays play Aoki way over off to the other field, and the left fielder, opposite field for Aoki, Michael Saunders, shading that line, played perfectly.
Now left-hand hitting, Seth Smith up. First pitch to him, popped up, third base side. Drifting into foul ground in the coaching box, sunglasses on, Josh Donaldson makes the catch. 2 away.
Second baseman number 22, Robinson Cano.
RA's last start was Saturday in Oakland after the long break in the All-Star break. He went 6+ innings, gave up 5 runs on 5 hits, pinned with a loss, 5-4. So this is a more regular start for him with the regular 4 days off between outings. And yet, having said that, with the off day in Arizona, he's pitching from one Saturday to the next.
It's been a long layoff. RA was not bad that day, but it was the 3 home runs. It was the long ball that got him, and that's why I said this could be a key today against this power-hitting Mariners lineup.
Robinson Cano takes a strike, and when you consider he gave up only 5 hits and 3 were the home runs, that did him in.
And the big one, of course, was off the bat of the rookie Ryan Healy, a 3-run shot back in the 2nd inning.
Cano 0 for 5 yesterday, but drove in that triple by Aoki in the 1st inning. Swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. RA's last 4 starts here have been excellent. His ERA under 3 at 2.96, and opponents have hit just 2.30 off him. His strike 2 pitch fouled hard off to the left into the crowd. Look out. Still no balls and 2 strikes. Tulowitzki at short, Devin Travis at second with Big Justin Smoke at first. Saunders in left, Kevin Pillar in center, and Ezekiel Carrera in right. Tolley sets the target. Strike 2 pitch. Down and in. Manny Acta, former manager of the Washington Nationals. He's coaching at third. And down at first, Casey Candell. And a 1-2 pitch. Fought off, fouled off to the left. Blue Jays were just in Arizona, and their third base coach, Matt Williams, a former manager of the Washington Nationals, and never that good when you keep turning over your managers. It's really not the manager as much as the players given to that manager.
Well, and I think Washington's in a good place, feeling pretty good with Dusty Baker at the helm now.
1-2 pitch. Looped over third. A diving try for it by Donaldson. He has no play. going to his left, jumped, and the ball just kicked off the end of his glove. Josh in shallow left field pounds his fist into his glove, upset that he didn't make that catch, but a heroic effort.
A tough play for Donaldson going to his left, and I'm sure this is a ball Josh is going to say he should have caught. Ranging to his left, he had to time his jump up in the air, and it looked like he timed it about right, but the ball just went off the heel of his glove, so he actually mistimed it just a hair. I'm sure he'd love to have that one back.
So the game's first base runner brings up right-handed hitting veteran Nelson Cruz. Nelson yesterday 2 for 4, a couple of singles, 1 to center, 1 to left. Dickey set. First inning, no score. RA's pitch gets off the glove of Tolle, and on a pass ball, up to second into scoring position goes Cano.
There's that late movement on RA's knuckleball. They will happen. Josh Tolle knows that's part of the business. He's going to have a lot of pass balls, probably lead all of baseball in pass balls. But now the key is for RA to get Nelson Cruz here to limit the damage here and keep the Mariners off the board.
The veteran Cruz, 36, from the Dominican Republic. Strong right-handed hitter, 6'3", 240. The 0-1 pitch fouled over the screen. And again, RA gets ahead of a hitter. No balls and 2 strikes. When Cruz was growing up, his passion wasn't baseball, it was basketball. And his favorite player, Michael Jordan.
Well, he's a big man. You can see that.
He played for the Dominican Republic junior national basketball team, did Nelson Cruz. Now here he is starring in on the diamond. The 0-2 pitch to him is high. His parents, both educators, both professors. And how'd you like to go to the high school where your dad is the history teacher?
Did he take history?
You bet he did. And got a good mark. Nelson Cruz against R.A. Dickey. Cano at second, 2 down. Top of the first, the stretch. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. There's the floater down and away. Cruz gone. There's a little history, and it's called a knuckleball from R.A. Dickey. Bottom of the first we go. Mariners turned away.
This is your team, but you better be prepared to share it with 35 million crazy Canadians. Celebrate Canada's team, Toronto Blue Jays baseball, on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Fans, submit your questions via Twitter using the hashtag HHExperts and then have them answered later in our game. All brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice. Mariners left Cano at second base, did not score in the top of the first. Here in the bottom half against the veteran right-hander Hisashi Iwakuma, who's 10-6. Blue Jays send up Ezekiel Carrera, Josh Donaldson, and Edwin Encarnacion. The catcher is the veteran Chris Iannetta. Iwakuma, the windup, the hesitation, the fastball up and in, ball 1. Hisashi is 35. 6'3", well-built, 190-pounder. Made his major league debut when he signed with the Mariners as a free agent back in 2012. He's outside, 2-0. His last 4 starts, he's gone 4-0 with an ERA of 2.39. His last 10 road starts, 4-4, ERA 3.69. He's tough to beat. In his career, 3-1 against the Blue Jays in 5 starts. The pitch lined off the glove of Iwakuma, ricochets to second. Cano picks it up, throws to Adam Lynn for the out. And right there, 2 things happened. Iwakuma wasn't hurt, and then he helped himself out, taking a hit away from Carrera.
Well, it's a line shot right back up the mound. This ball is heading into center field. Iwakuma got his glove up just in time. He didn't mean to, but he deflected it right to his second baseman. Cano makes the play.
That's called a deflection out of self-defense.
It sure was. He was just trying to protect his body. Luckily for him, it hit his glove and not any part of his body.
Here's Josh. Right-hander against right-hander. Shift on, 3 infielders to the left to second. Donaldson takes strike 1. Donaldson last 15 games hitting .421. That includes 5 home runs, 17 runs batted in, and 5 doubles. His overall average at .307. He takes it inside. Josh enjoying a better year to this point than last after 97 games. And last year, of course, the MVP. Pitches inside, almost hit him. The ball to the backstop. 2 balls and 1 strike. Donaldson last year at this time was hitting .292, as we just mentioned, .307 this season. Home runs, 24 this year, 23 last. Last year he had driven in 65, this year 70. Edwin on deck. 2-1 pitch. High, ball 3, and lest we forget the walks. Donaldson comes in here, leading the American League in walks with 65 and runs scored with 85. And guess who's the RBI leader in the major leagues? Edwin with 86.
Josh Donaldson, the guy that is on base an awful lot.
3-1 pitch. Low, ball 4, and there's the free pass. Donaldson whips off the elbow guard and heads on down to first.
Designated hitter number 10, Edwin Encarnacion.
Nice hand here for Edwin. Encarnacion sitting on 223 home runs in his Blue Jays career. Tied for third with Vernon Wells. No score first inning. Edwin on a check swing. It's called a strike on the outside corner.
Well, Iwakuma has a lot of pitches. The fastball average just about 88, but curveball, slider, cutter, and the split finger. Split finger is something he'll normally go to later in the count. We'll look for him to possibly use that slider early against this, especially against the Blue Jays right-handers.
The 0-1 pitch. Strike 2 called outside corner. It's 0-2.
And there it is right there at 83 miles per hour. Now we'll see what he does with Edwin 0-2. He likes to go to the split finger pitch to put hitters away late.
Kyle Seager backed up at third, adjusting his sunglasses. He's well off the line. Sean O'Malley at short. Robinson Cano at second on the right side of the bag, up the middle of the diamond. The 0-2 pitch taken outside. Adam Lynn comes back to Toronto for the first time. He's at first. A Mariners outfield left to right of Nori Aoki in left. Leonis Martin in center, and Seth Smith in right. The DH, Nelson Cruz, he struck out with Cano at second in the top of this first inning to end the frame without a run. Josh tiptoes back in and a one-bounce throw over to Lind, who does a nice job just to corral it, or Donaldson's on his way to second.
Looked like as Iwakuma turned to first base, he didn't necessarily want to throw the baseball, but he knew he had to get rid of it. Short hopped at him with a very soft toss.
Josh is 6 for 6 stealing bases. Blue Jays 31 thefts. They've been caught 15 times. Now Donaldson gets a pretty good sized lead. Lind holds him on. And the stretch. Josh does not go. 1-2 pitch hit on the ground to short. Backhanded and dropped in the hole. Now recovering the shortstop throw late to second. Everybody's safe as O'Malley couldn't handle the ground ball.
Left fielder number 21, Michael Saunders.
And a base hit for Edwin, but the difficulty of that play on the left side.
It looked like O'Malley was ranging to his right, to his backhand, could not pick it cleanly, and everybody's safe. It's going to be a tough play, even with Edwin running. Would have been a tough play, but we have seen the hustle of Josh Donaldson on that play. We saw it in Arizona. Good hustle beating that throw to second.
I think it's those bright turquoise shoes Josh is wearing. Here's Michael Saunders. Hit a home run yesterday, his 17th. First at bat against the team that signed him. Michael takes outside ball 1 here in the bottom of the first inning. No score. Blue Jays with an infield hit. Donaldson at second base. Edwin in conversation with Lind. Edwin gets the lead. Adam plays behind him. The 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. 1-1. Well, that reminds me of a playoff game here back in 1991. The Blue Jays were hosting the Minnesota Twins. Kirby Puckett was at first. John Olerud was there, and Kirby got into a conversation with Olerud just when Dwayne Ward on the mound fired over to first, and Olerud never saw it coming, and chuckling all the way to third was Puckett as the ball went down the right field line.
Base runner tries to distract the first baseman. First baseman tries to distract the base runner.
The pitch outside, and catchers try to upset the timing too and distract hitters. You caught for 13 years. I'm sure that as nice as you are, you might have done a little of that.
Just want to ask how their day's going and where they had breakfast, you know, and just kind of just very cordial as they come to the plate. And, hey, if you distract them a little bit along the way, mission accomplished.
That's how you do it. Saunders hitting .286. So Iwakuma here in this first inning. Couple on, one out. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a foul at the plate. They count 2 balls and 2 strikes. That reminds me of a great story. Carl Yastrzemski wanted it completely quiet. He would come to the plate against the Yankees with Yogi Berra, who was just the opposite. And Yogi would talk, and finally, Yaz says, "That's enough." And Yogi said, "Okay, I promise I won't talk anymore." And Yaz said, "Good." He took a pitch for a strike, and Yogi said, "What are you doing tonight for dinner?" And Yogi just was relentless because he knew Yaz did not like that.
Oh, Yogi.
2 of the greatest in the game, coming from different ends of the spectrum. Saunders against Iwakuma. The runners lead at first and second. And now throw to second, and almost it goes into center field almost. A diving stop there to his left, the shortstop coming over O'Malley. And you talk about that last name, a little luck of the Irish right there, too, as he almost tripped over the bag.
Well, that was initiated by Josh Donaldson. He took a couple of hard steps off the second base bag, and that's why O'Malley came in behind. He held his glove open and ran towards the base. That's the indication to the pitcher to spin and throw. He did that, but it wasn't a very good throw. Put a little more salt in the wound. Looked like Josh landed on O'Malley's foot at the second base bag.
The runners lead. A look at second. 2-2 pitch to Saunders, way outside, ball 3. The Iwakuma here, 17 pitches in, 7 strikes, 10 balls thrown.
A little uncharacteristic of Iwakuma. He's very efficient with his pitch count. His last 4 starts, he's gone 6+ innings and has not thrown 100 pitches, so he's normally all around the zone. She's looking a little shaky here early.
Blue Jays trying to make him pay after a 1-out walk and an infield hit to short. He settles the glove at the chest, keeps it there. And the 3-2 pitch hopped up. He got in on his hands. The shortstop comes in, O'Malley, and right there on the artificial turf on the infield part of the diamond, he makes the catch. Infield fly rule applied there. 2 down. Great pitch there by Iwakuma.
I went to the cutter that time, and it's a great pitch because Michael had not seen one. Fouled the pitch earlier, but you come in like that and you got very good late movement. The cutter is just going to have horizontal movement, and from the right-hander is running right on in on the hands of Saunders.
Troy Tulowitzki to the plate on a 7-game hitting streak, over which he's gone 10 for 30 with a home run, 4 RBIs, and 2 doubles. Donaldson at second, Encarnacion at first. Here in this first inning, no score. Tulowitzki trying to knock home a run, if not more. Right-hander against right-hander. Pitch is inbound. Taken outside, ball 1. And the Tulo chant echoes around the Rogers Center here. Another sold-out game this entire weekend. 3 sellouts. The Wednesday matinee game coming up here, the final game in the 3-game series with San Diego, that's a sold-out game as well. And the others are pushing sold-out games. The 1-0 pitch. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, there's a couple sliders in a row again from Iwakuma. We talked about it against Edwin, against these right-handers in the Blue Jays lineup. He likes the slider early in the count, and then he'll probably go to the split later, especially if he's ahead. That's what he got Edwin to bounce the ground ball on. Turned out to be an infield hit.
Smoke on deck. Tulowitzki with a great hitter's count here at 2-0. A look at second. Pitch on the way. A strike up in the zone a bit, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Speaking of crowds, the Blue Jays with the best average in the American League, 39,426 per game. The Red Sox are the only team to draw more than the Blue Jays. The Red Sox have drawn 1,000,009, but that's in 54 home games. The Blue Jays are just in their 49. Your suffering and expenses could be completely covered. Call Diamond & Diamond Lawyers for a free consultation at number 1-800-567-HURT. Seattle bats in the second, no score. R.A. Dickey against the left-handed hitting third baseman Kyle Seager, who takes it low, ball 1. As the sun now disappears momentarily, still bright blue skies overhead, a lot of white puffy clouds. RA's outside. 2 balls and no strikes on Seager. 28-year-old veteran. Mariners made him a third-round pick back in 2009 out of the University of North Carolina. Well, he's a Tar Heel. The pitch to him, a strike on the outside corner. Back in 2010 in High Desert, that's in the California A-League, Cal put together a 32-game hitting streak with 192 hits. There's a line drive into right center field. That's a base hit at the major league level. Cut off by Pilar. Spin, throw it to second beautifully, and that forces Seager to go all the way back to first after he'd almost gone halfway to second.
First baseman, number 26, Adam Lind.
That's an excellent job by Kevin Pilar, closing the gap on that baseball in a hurry. And the one thing an outfielder wants to do is when you get to the baseball, throw it immediately, and that'll shut down the runner. That's exactly what happened right there. Kevin's throw was just off the second base bag, but Seager put on the brakes around first.
Well, the batter now, Adam Lind, came back yesterday, and last night 1 for 4, a double into the right field corner. Left-handed hitter, takes inside ball 1. 192 hits in the minor leagues, a 32-game hitting streak. And Pilar, when he was at Cal State Dominguez in Southern California at that university, he had a 54-game hitting streak. The pitch is low. You can't hide talent when you put together those kind of hitting streaks. Eventually, those kind of numbers will get you here to the major league level.
Yeah, you don't see too many hitting streaks like that by luck. These guys can flat out hit, and that's why they're playing in this league right here.
Smoke holds on the runner at first. Edwin DHing here today. A strike from Dickey. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. And what he's done, he's kept the double play in order.
Very interesting watching R.A. warm up today before the ball game. Before he went to the bullpen, he was long tossing with Josh Tolley. He was standing in left field. Josh was standing by the Blue Jays' third base coach's box.
Adam on check swing goes around, strike 2.
And a pitcher will do that sometimes, especially R.A., because of the wind direction, and it impacts his knuckleball so much that he wants to warm up in the same direction that he'll be pitching. Now, unfortunately, the way the bullpens are structured, he cannot warm up in the bullpen in that same direction, but he tries to simulate that game situation as much as possible.
No score, second inning, runner at first, nobody out. Quick throw to first, diving back in is Seager. Kyle's just 1 for 2 stealing bases. The Mariners have stolen only 27, and they've been caught 22 times, so not a team that does a lot of running, and for a good reason. The stretch. And the 2-2 pitch. Outside, ball 3. Lind has worked it to a full count now.
R.A. does such a good job holding runners on, too, so this is just not one of those matchups where you're probably going to see a stolen base.
The 33-year-old veteran, Lind, ready at the plate. Dickey set. And a throw over, just in case Seager was taking off there on that 3-2 pitch, and he dives back to the corner of the bag. Adam is ready, and so is R.A. Seager the lead. Does not go. The pitch inside, ball 4, and R.A. wants that ball back from Josh Tolley. He's upset with that pitch and putting on Lind here.
Fielder number 12, Leonis Martin.
Toronto FC hosts DC United for an Eastern Conference clash. That's at BMO Field tonight, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Sportsnet 360 or live stream on Sportsnet Now. Leonis Martin, the batter, left-handed hitting center fielder. 2 on, nobody out, second inning, no score. He bunts, and he bunts it foul back to the top of the screen. Trying to push it up along third there with Josh Donaldson, even crowded in at third base. Seager at second, Lind at first. Martin yesterday 0 for 3, drew a walk. And the R.A. pitch high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Martin, 13 home runs, part of the Mariners' 138. Pitch on the way, grounded off the mound, a high hop to Tulowitzki, go to second 1, Travis to first, call it 2. What a double play. Seager to third.
This was a very hard hit ball right back up the middle. And it looked initially like Tula was going to take this ball himself, but off of the mound, it shot up on him. He bobbled the baseball initially, but was able to retrieve it with his bare hand. That's when he decided to flip it to Devin Travis, and a great turn by Travis at the second base bag to get the double play.
R.A. gets the double play on a hard hit ball. Now runner at third, no score second inning. Here's Mariners catcher and right-hand hitting Chris Iannetta. The Dickey pitch moves outside, ball one. Quick hands, quick feet. You have to have that up the middle of the diamond.
Well, the big thing, too, with Tulu right there, he adapts so well, immediately flipping that ball to Travis after he bobbled it.
The 1-0 pitch moves outside. Iannetta did not catch yesterday. Mike Zunino did. Iannetta's always hit well against the Blue Jays. So a tough out. 2-0 pitch in there for a strike. 2-1.
This is when that extra pressure is put on the catcher. Josh Tolley right here with 2 down, the runner on third. He cannot afford anything to go off of his glove.
Dickey's pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. Good knuckler at 76. It's 2-2.
Toughest part about that, too, is as a catcher, you don't want to put more pressure on yourself. That's when you stiffen up, and that's when you're not going to be at your best. So this is a key situation to relax even more with your hands and your arm.
Dickey from the waist to the chest. Kicks, 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. The inning is over. A double play and a strikeout takes R.A. off the field. Still Iwakuma. Shift on, 3 infielders to the right of second. Smoke takes strike 1. Here's Mike Wilner with a look at that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard.
And we've got a lot of baseball happening today. It's just not happening yet. There are 2 games that get going at 4 o'clock Eastern time.
Smoke fouls one off to the left, 0-2.
The Yankees are home to the San Francisco Giants. Ivan Nova against Johnny Cueto. Yankees and Mariners are 4.5 games back of the Blue Jays for the second wild card in the American League. The Phillies are at the Pirates. It's Aaron Nola against Tyler Glasnow and a couple of really good young pitchers in that game.
The strike 2 pitch outside.
Bunch of action at 7 o'clock, including the first place Baltimore Orioles home to Cleveland. Kevin Gausman and Josh Tomlin. Orioles lead the Red Sox by a half game and the Blue Jays by 2 in the AL East.
And the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called, 1 down.
The Red Sox are in Minnesota, looking to even up their series with a win. David Price against Ricky Nolasco. Last night, the Red Sox were up 2-1 on the Twins, or down 2-1 to the Twins in the bottom of the ninth. Bases loaded, nobody out, and David Ortiz at the plate. And they could not score the tying run. They wound up losing 2-1. And, of course, elsewhere on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, it's Hall of Fame induction weekend in Cooperstown.
Kevin Pillar up, and he takes inside.
And that's why Mariners hitting coach Edgar Martinez is not here. He's made the trip down I-90 because his teammate Ken Griffey Jr. is being installed into the Hall of Fame this weekend.
Kevin takes inside.
Along with Mike Piazza. For all the scores and stats, go to sportsnet.ca.
Thank you, Mike. Here, no score, bottom of the second inning, a 2-0 count on Pillar. They play him straight up. Kevin will use the entire field. Yesterday, 0-for-3. The 2-0 pitch to him. Inside, ball 3. On deck, Devin Travis. Iwakuma is still throwing more balls than strikes. 16 balls, 13 strikes, and yet he hasn't given up a run. That's how he pitches, even on a day where he's not initially here at his best. His 3-0 serve, that's pumped in for a strike.
Well, he was able to avert some trouble there in that first inning, getting a couple of Saunders and Tulowitzki to end the first inning. He gets smoke here, but that's one thing that he's been very efficient, so it's surprising early. This could be a guy, though, once he locks it in, he could be very difficult today.
Kevin takes ball 4. He reaches with a 1-out walk. That's the second straight inning that Iwakuma has done that.
Second baseman number 29, Devin Travis.
Yesterday, Mike Zunino caught for the Mariners, and he has caught Iwakuma. He had a great comment about Iwakuma and why he's so successful. He said, Hisashi shows no emotion. He's never too high, never too low. That's a gift to have on the mound.
Well, it sure is, especially when you're battling adversity, and we're talking about this here early in the ball game. Not the same command that he's been used to, but he's continuing to maintain calm.
Fastball strike to Devin. And he needed all that calmness, too, to retire Saunders and Tulowitzki with 2 on and 1 out in the first inning. Dickey was pretty good in that category, too, in the top of this inning. 2 on, nobody out, a double play and a strikeout. Mariners early on, 0-for-3 already, hitting with men in scoring position. There's a throw to first. Having said that, they were 1-for-13 over 6 innings against Marco Estrada, and were able to manufacture just 2 runs on 9 hits, but won it 2-1. It's the Blue Jays here trying to establish some offense and even up this series before it goes to a final game tomorrow. Jay Happ against Wade Miley, a couple of left-handers. Strike 1 pitch, low, and the count even 1-1.
Well, the Mariners' offense has been fairly steady this year. They've been very good, and that includes with runners in scoring position. They've been a lot better than they have been the last week or so. It's not been near as good, and Marco showed that last night. Pitching very tough in key situations.
Devin hitting .272. Pilar at first, 1 out, held on by Lind. Second inning. There he goes. The pitch hit on the right side, through a base hit into center field. Pilar digging without breaking stride to third, and on a beautifully executed hit and run, Devin Travis goes back to first, putting runners at first and third.
The catcher, number 22, Josh Tolley.
I'm not sure if this was a hit and run or a running hit. Kevin Pilar got a great jump. You don't normally see base runners get such good jumps on hit and runs, but it looked like he was stealing all the way. But then what Travis does is he got a good pitch to hit, and we know Devin does this so very well, staying inside the baseball, shooting it to the right side. The second baseman, Cano, had vacated his position to cover the bag.
And Joe, if it wasn't a hit and run, you can use that anytime with Devin with that kind of a swing.
It's the great guy to be running on base if you're Kevin Pilar in front of Travis, because he hits behind the runner so well.
No score, second inning. Blue Jays trying to take the lead here. Josh Tolley comes up, 9th hitter. Josh caught yesterday what with the sore left knee of Russ Martin. Tolley went 0 for 2, a couple of groundouts and a walk. The bunt here is an option for manager John Gibbons, especially with the ground ball and the possibility of an inning-ending double play. We'll see. Runners lead at first and third. The stretch. Pitch to Josh, low and outside, ball 1. Tolley in 34 games, just 13 for 83, a 157 average. Trying to do what he can here to knock home Pilar from third base. Trying to get that runner home from third with less than 2 outs. The 1-0 pitch. It's low, and Iwakuma doesn't help himself here, falling behind the 9th hitter, 2-0.
And this is a challenge for a hitter. You know what the pitcher's trying to do to you. He's trying to get a ground ball off your bat, so Josh is going to have to try to work underneath this baseball, try to elevate something, driving it deep enough to the outfield to get Pilar home.
Speed on the bases. Stretch. And the 2-0 pitch. Ground ball down to first. It's foul. Foul ball backhanded in front of the bag by Lind, but on the foul side of the line. And so there Iwakuma gets his ground ball, but it's foul. It's 2-1. And tomorrow with Jay Happ on the hill, the Blue Jays are hopeful of having Russ Martin back.
Well, they can hope he's back, and that'd be a good sign for the Blue Jays. If he's out any longer, you have to wonder if they have to make a move for a catcher. This is very risky, having Josh Tolley, your only active catcher, on the field today. You don't want to have to turn to the emergency backup. That's Darwin Barney.
The right-hander ready. Sun breaks through again. 2-1 pitch. Line to left field. Coming on quickly. Aoki makes the catch, tagging Pilar. Throw to the plate. On a bounce. It's up the first base side. He slides. He scores. The Blue Jays are in flight, leading the Mariners 1-0. A sacrifice line drive to left by Josh Tolley, and great base running by Kevin Pilar.
Well, that is a complete team effort right there. This is not a ball that a runner should score on from third base. Tolley did the right thing. I just talked about it. Tried to get underneath the baseball to drive something in the air. Unfortunately, he hit it too hard on a line and not very deep. But Kevin Pilar challenged the arm of Aoki, and he won that challenge.
Kevin is such a gamer. That's the best compliment you can give any player.
You can just see him that whole time. I didn't think there was a chance he scores on this, but you could see in his body language going back to that bag, he was going to challenge him.
Devin Travis remains at first, draws a throw. And I think, too, it's fair to say, Joe, on scouting reports, the report would be, too, you can run on Aoki, who has an average arm and average accuracy. And if that throw is more toward the plate, they're probably going to get him.
Not a real strong arm, but if it's on the money, I think they've got him. It was off to the catcher's right. Ionetta had to reach over towards that first base line.
So here's Ezekiel Carrera, left-handed hitting leadoff man. The first pitch to him, inside, ball one. Some daring do on the base paths, but that's all part of scouting too, and knowing your arms in the outfield. A different arm, a different left fielder, perhaps a bluff to draw a throw, and then you go from there.
And players know that. Tim Leeper and Luis Rivera go over that with their players so that they all know where the strong arms are in the outfield, who are the guys that we're going to challenge, and I think Pilar knew that before the pitch was even thrown.
Devin, a good-sized lead, and as a result, draws the throw. Carrera shot one back to the mound to lead off the game in the bottom of the first, and it was deflected off the glove of Iwakuma to second. Cano threw him out. So Ezekiel here again looking to hit a ball hard. And the 1-0 pitch. Inside off the glove of Ionetta, but it rolls up along first, so he's got a good eye on the runner at first. No advance. It's 2 balls and no strikes. With 1 out, the walk to Pilar. Then Devin Travis, with Pilar running, shot a ground ball through the right-hand side, moving Kevin first to third, setting up the line drive sacrifice fly to left field off the bat of Josh Tolley. Iwakuma ready. There goes Travis. The pitch, a swing and a foul at the plate. So Travis will come back. At least it looked like a foul ball, and yes, that's what they're going to tell Devin, and he'll go back to first base.
Well, I'm starting to wonder now if maybe the Blue Jays have something on Iwakuma. This is what Tim Leeper does so well, talking about studying scouting reports and video. Some pitchers will have a tendency before they throw over to first or before they go home. It might be a little tilt to the shoulders. It might be a little head movement. But I'm thinking the Blue Jays have something on Iwakuma right here. I thought Kevin Pilar got a great jump when he went earlier, and Devin Travis got a great jump there.
We'll see if the Blue Jays continue to exploit that. A 1-0 lead over the Mariners just in the second inning, 2 outs. Pitch on the way, ripped on the ground, right to first. Taken at the chest on a hop by Adam Lind. He steps on the bag, and the inning is over. But the Blue Jays, end of 2, have a 1-0 lead over Seattle. We're in this series so far. Winning brought to you by iTravel 2000. Call 1-866-WOW-DEAL and get away for less. 1-0 Blue Jays. Seattle bats here in the third. The 9th hitter, switch hitter, shortstop Sean O'Malley. Batting left-handed against R.A. Dickey. Takes strike 1 called. O'Malley will be followed by the top of the order, Nori Aoki and Seth Smith. 1 pitch inside. Sean's playing for the Seattle Mariners. He grew up in Richland, Washington, a suburb of Seattle, and here he is. 28 years old, spent a lot of time in the minors, a strike called. The Tampa Bay then Devil Rays made him a 5th-round pick out of high school there in Richland, Washington, back in 2006. 1-2 pitch, fought off and weakly hit on the ground to third. Coming in, Donaldson, he barehands, has no play, and now some speed at first base in O'Malley. That's pretty much a reflection of what he's done at the major league level. After he was drafted by the Rays, they let him go. The Angels had him. They made him a September 1st call-up in 2014, and in his first game at Minnesota, he pinch hit, had an infield hit. Oh, did we mention he pinch hit for Albert Pujols? How often does that happen? Hardly ever. A little top ground ball to short. He drove in a run. Then he was let go by the Angels, signed by the Mariners, the team he grew up watching, Ken Griffey Jr. and all of them, and he was called up May the 15th here this year, and he's now played nearly 45 games. There's a throw over to first base. Last year, he got called up again in September, and in his first game against the Astros, went 3 for 4 with 3 singles. So he's found a home with Seattle.
Keep trying to do what you have to do to stick around. He's certainly doing that.
Aoki, the batter, left-handed hitter, swings, and he misses strike 1 here in the 3rd inning. Blue Jays have just scored the game's only run. Josh Tolley's first sacrifice fly of the year, bringing home Kevin Pillar from third. It's 1-0. We saw the quickness of O'Malley on the base paths yesterday. Dickey's tough to run against. Smoke holds on the runner. Stretch. Strike one, pitch. Fouled off left-hand side. It's 0-2. Every game played by a longtime minor leaguer is one you treasure, and you're 73. I know you treasure.
Well, exactly right. I always talk about that first major league call-up, because if you don't get the first one, you may never get one. And for me, it was with the Montreal Expos, and it was at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. Very memorable.
Strike two, pitches low.
Felipe Alou was the manager at the time of the Expos, and I was playing in AAA Ottawa. He had been my manager in the minor leagues in West Palm Beach back in 1990. So that connection certainly helped me out, and he was looking to have an extra catcher on hand. He liked to carry three catchers in the National League style game, and I was more noted for my defense, and it worked out perfectly.
It certainly did. Here's a throw over to first base. Diving back in is O'Malley. And it's a testament, too, to perseverance, work ethic, and then, so oftentimes, players like that stay in the game, i.e. you right here sitting in the radio booth.
It's funny how it works. I would have never thought I'd be in a seat like this, but it's certainly a perfect fit.
Dickey set. 1-2 pitch. Hit the left field down the line, moving over Saunders. It's in foul ground, goes into the front row. And the count holds 1-2. Be sure and tune in after our game today for the Acura Play of the Game. It's brought to you by the 2017 Acura RDX, starting from just $44,375. Visit your GTA Acura dealer for details. Sun back breaking through here at the Rogers Center. Third inning, Blue Jays, a run, 2 hits. Mariners, no runs, 3 hits. Runner at first, nobody out. O'Malley the lead. Dickey set. Long pause. 1-2 pitch. Ground ball down to first, taken by Smoke. Whip a throw to second, and tagging the bag with his glove is Tulowitzki. That's all he could do on the throw that was on the shortstop side of the bag. 1 down.
Right fielder number 7, Seth Smith.
Oh, just another very smart play by Troy Tulowitzki. Smoke received this baseball. The throw took Tulo to the shortstop side of the bag. He knew he was not going to be able to turn the double play with the speed of Aoki running, the hitter. So he just came back, and not only going for the runner, he tagged the base just ahead of the sliding O'Malley.
He had his foot around the side of the bag, but he had to make sure. And since at that point he had eliminated the double play in his mind, that is the smartness of that play you just talked about.
He does that. We see so often that Troy's making a very smart play in the infield. He made sure of one out there.
The left-hand hitting, Seth Smith up in the Mariners' third. 1-0 Blue Jays. A pitch down and away, ball 1. Aoki is at first base. Now he's stolen 4 bases, but he's been caught 7 times. That's part of the dilemma for manager Scott Service on running with his Mariners this year. It just is not worth it. 22 caught stealings, 27 thefts. A throw to first base, and Dickey almost was able to pick him off there.
RA does such a good job holding runners, and it's that move right there. He's got very quick feet. He's very athletic. He's 41 years old, but a very good athlete on the mound. He will keep those runners close and try to give his catcher as good a shot as possible if they do try to run.
Infield looking for the double play ground ball. The pitch hit him. So Dickey comes in with a knuckleball, and at 77 miles an hour, it hit the 7 on the back of Smith. He'll jog on down to first, and walking up to second is Aoki.
Just some late knuckleball. This is the unpredictability and really uncontrollable pitch sometimes that happens. That ball just took a turn right into Smith's leg.
We've made reference sometimes to a bat saying to a pitch that looks pretty inviting, "Hit me." Well, that uniform said the same thing, "Hit me." And now Dickey, with a 1-0 lead to protect, has dangerous Robinson Cano up here with 1 out. And the pitch is inside. That was right around his kneecaps, ball 1. Aoki at second base. At first, behind him, Smith. R.A. the stretch to look back at second. And the 1-0 pitch, it hit him. So Dickey now has hit 2 in a row, and both pitches 77-mile-an-hour knuckleballs, and the bases are loaded for Nelson Cruz.
Well, a knuckleballer can control and manipulate the baseball at times, but these are uncontrollable knuckleballs. The ball's just taking off on RA, and if you're a hitter, like Seth Smith or Robinson Cano, those balls just took right turns on you, right into their sides, and that, to me, is the part that is uncontrollable for a knuckleball pitcher. RA does not have a lot to do with that ball taking off into those hitters.
So Josh Donaldson, the pro he is, went right to the mound, talked to Dickey for just a moment, patted him on the back, goes back to third. Here's Cruz. Blue Jays with a precarious 1-0 lead here in the Seattle third inning. They're loaded with one out. Cruz struck out, leaving a runner at second to end the scoreless first. Dickey set. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike one. Cruz comes up here, leading the Mariners in home runs with 23. He's driven in 58. Kyle Seager, the leader, with 63 runs batted in. The stretch. The 0-1 pitch outside, and again, pressure on Tolle here, too, with that knuckleball. It's 1-1.
Well, RA has had some issues the first time through the batting order in his last few starts. Hitters hitting over 350 against him, but the first time through's been okay today. It's the second time through, and it really hasn't been hitting. He's actually drilled a couple of hitters himself.
Aoki down from third. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, strike two. 1 ball and 2 strikes. If it means anything at all, the knuckleballs that hit the two Mariners were at 77 miles an hour. These pitches now are at 78 and 79, maybe adjusting and trying to throw a little harder knuckleball.
Maybe being a little more aggressive. Sometimes you get a little bit more movement, sometimes a little less, but either way, he's trying to mix it up.
He's set again. 1-2 pitch to Cruz, fouled off right-hand side, and that was at 81 miles an hour. And the fan makes a nice catch off to our right, so it's 1-2. Big moment here for the Mariners, and on deck is Seager. So you've got 58 RBIs at the plate, 63 on deck. RA's got his work cut out for him. He's ready on the mound. And the 1-2 pitch, fly ball deep center field. That's heading for the wall. That's heading for the flight deck, and that's gone. A grand slam for Nelson Cruz. Seattle goes out in front 4-1 on his 24th of the year. And that's how you punish a pitcher who had hit two Mariners just before that swing.
Oh, he said it at the outset when I was talking about R.A. Dickey. That is 110 home runs now that he has allowed. It's the most in all of baseball since becoming a Blue Jay back in 2013. And against this power-hitting Mariners lineup, this was a key to the ball game today. The unfortunate thing for Dickey, he just gave it up with the bases loaded. Solo homers don't hurt you as much, but this is a big blow off the bat of Nelson Cruz.
Here's Kyle Seager. Seager hits a fly ball to center field. That's hit deep. Back for it, Kevin Pillar. He's at the track. He's at the wall. He makes the catch back up against the wall, 400 feet away for the inning's second out. Well, we mentioned yesterday, and it's worth repeating, that coming into play yesterday and today, the Orioles lead the major leagues 144 home runs. Tied for second, the Blue Jays and Mariners, each with 138. And that tie has just been broken. Adam Lind up. He takes strike one.
R.A. had given up 22 home runs coming into today. 18 of them were solo shots, so they don't hurt you too badly. That's a good number.
Adam looks it over inside.
But it's when you give up the home runs with runners on base. And this, of course, a big blow off the bat of Cruz being a grand slam.
Adam walked his first time up, third inning. Dickey with a strike, 1 ball and 2 strikes. So a little infield hit, a fielder's choice ground ball, 2 hit batters and a grand slam. R.A. is outside. Dickey missing 2 balls and 2 strikes. RBIs 59, 60, 61, and 62 now for Cruz. Adams swings and he misses. Dickey struck him out, but the Mariners have struck. We go to the bottom of the third inning. Seattle leads at 4-1. You're listening to Home Hardware Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Summer 2016, one of those rare...
And at VTechTrivia.com for your chance to win. Bottom of the third inning here on a Junior Jays Saturday. Mariners with a 4-1 lead now. Hisashi Iwakuma's pitch hits Josh Donaldson in the left elbow at 69 miles an hour. Now Donaldson's going to stay up at the plate here, and John Gibbons will come out to ask the plate umpire, Jordan Baker, if what happened there. Was it a half swing and a strike, and as a result, if you get hit, it's a strike? Well, John Gibbons just wanted clarification here.
Well, Jordan Baker saying that he leaned into it. It was pretty clear there was a breaking pitch from Iwakuma, and Josh actually leaned his elbow into the pitch. Jordan Baker said, come on back here.
And that's a good call, and a rare call too, Joe. You never see umpires make that call, which is the right call. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's inside, 2-0. We have seen hitters do that in your 3 years here and for my 35, and the odds are about 1 every 100 times that'll be called. Good for Jordan Baker. He's only 34 in just his 4th year in the major leagues. A strike called, and remember, he's wearing a black sleeve here today if you're out at the Rogers Center on his left elbow, because you saw him before the game. He got drilled at first base yesterday with a foul ball off the bat of Nelson Cruz.
Got hit by a line drive as the first base umpire last night. He couldn't get out of the way.
Donaldson fouls one off to the right, 2-2.
He told me today when I ran into him, I asked him how that elbow's doing. He showed me, and there's an abrasion on the elbow, still very swollen. He said he'll have a pad on there, which we can see here from now, kind of a black sleeve over that elbow. But he said he picked up the ball very late off the bat, and when he went to get out of the way, it just kept coming at him. He put his arm up to protect himself, got him right on the elbow, and there's actually a chip fracture in there that he's working behind the plate with today.
Donaldson rolls one foul up along third, and with that chip fracture, you wonder if the umpiring crew might have just said rotate from first to third, because a foul ball could really do some damage.
I was thinking the same thing. When I mentioned that to him, he said, I want to be back there. So this is probably something where he says he can go, and certainly he is back there. But you're right on about that call. We don't see it very often. More importantly, because it was a ball, sometimes you might say get back in there, the ball's a strike, but it was off the plate. But Josh, no argument from Donaldson.
2-2 pitch, fouled off right side. It's a Junior Jays Saturday, as we mentioned, presented by Boston Pizza. So join the pregame festivities outside gates 5 and 10 from here on out. Inflatables, activities, lots of fun. Go to BlueJays.com for tickets. And from Kleinberg here in this inning, the Junior Jays PA announcer, you'll hear him in a moment, 13-year-old Joshua. Donaldson leading off the third. Mariners lead at 4-1. 2-2 pitch, swing and a foul back. And that one looked like it got catcher Chris Iannetta. So you've got a hitter up there who threw his elbow out of the pitch and got hit. It's called a ball. And then you've got a catcher who just took a foul ball and an umpire who took one off the arm yesterday. It's tough behind that plate and in front of it here today.
Well, there's nowhere to run. You're just really a sitting target as a catcher and an umpire on foul tips. There's no way to defend yourself, and you just hope that it hits the equipment when you get hit, but for some reason it seems to miss it half the time.
Iwakuma the motion. 2-2 pitch is low. Iwakuma is probably saying to himself, thank you, Nelson Cruz, for that grand slam, because he's thrown 50 pitches, only 25 strikes, 25 balls.
Certainly not himself today either. Iwakuma, I talked about it earlier, has been very efficient with his pitches, but we're going to see that count spike a little bit earlier than normal today.
So Josh battling him here to try to start a rally in this third inning. Full count delivery, topped out in front of the plate. Tough play, taken by the catcher. Bare hand, throw it off balance to first, just in time to get the hustling Donaldson one down. And here's Joshua.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 10, Edwin Encarnacion.
I'm just going to guess here because it seems like every Junior Jays Saturday, these kids have to pronounce Encarnacion. And Tim Langton, who's been here for 12 years, I'm sure he's a teacher with these kids, and they probably rehearse it 4 or 5 times, and these kids get it right.
Not easy, but he's right on. Good job, Tim, if you're helping him out.
Edwin, an infield hit to short back in the first inning. We're in the third. Swing and a miss. Strike one on a fastball at 87.
Could always have them bring up the Mariners when Seth Smith is coming up. A little easier.
Yeah, that one you can pronounce. Shift on for Edwin. 3 infielders left of second. Strike one pitch. Just low and outside. 1-1. Interesting note here about the Mariners pitchers this year. And over the last number of years, what with Felix the King Hernandez pitching as a starter, and he just came off the DL, and the Mariners won a game for him, even though he had a no decision. The pitch fouled off third base side. For the Seattle Mariners, and this goes back to 2005, as a fan makes a nice play there down the left field side. Back to 2005, when the King, Felix Hernandez, started, and he was just signed at 16 before that out of Venezuela. The Mariners, with him on the mound, are 191 wins, 154 losses. That's pretty impressive. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Down goes Edwin. 2 down. Now, the rest of the Mariners starters since 2005, so we're talking 11 years and 12 seasons, they are 675 wins, 857 losses. So a winning percentage for the King at .554. The rest of the starters over his career, .441. That's why they have never been to the World Series, even with him.
It's been a one-man show, and you need to be much deeper. And I think what the Mariners are looking at here, when you have somebody like Iwakuma in the rotation with him, and you get him going, if they can get more from Paxton that they got last night,
Saunders takes a strike.
Would certainly help as well. Now you're talking about a big 3 in that rotation, but it's that consistency, and the good ones, like Felix, are generally very consistent. Others, not so much.
It just goes to show you have to have more than one pitcher, an ace. You have to have more than stars. Saunders a swing and a miss, 0-2. That's what we've said about the Blue Jays this year. 14-6 with Tulowitzki missing 20 games. And then 16-12 with Bautista missing 28 games. The Mariners would love to do that around the King, but they have been unable to do it. And as a result, they have not been to a World Series. Blue Jays haven't been since 92-3, but they won both of those. Strike 2 pitch. Ground ball weak, hit down to first. Charged. Nice hop for Adam Lynn. He steps on the bag. And with that, the inning is over. So we go to the 4th inning on a Nelson Cruz grand slam in the 3rd. It's Seattle this weekend series. R.A. Dickey to face Leonis Martin. And the left-hand hitting center fielder takes strike 1 called. Martin hit into a double play back in the 2nd inning. R.A. needed that. He had 2 on with nobody out. R.A.'s high, 1-1. After that, Chris Iannetta struck out. So Dickey survived that inning, but could not survive 2 hit batters and an infield hit in the 3rd, and gave up a grand slam to Nelson Cruz. Swing and a miss, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Chris Iannetta, Sean O'Malley to follow. 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Mariners. 1-2 delivery, line to short, over the outstretched glove of Troy Tulowitzki. The ball drops in for a hit in the left center, picked up by Michael Saunders. He lobs it back to the infield, and Martin on with a leadoff hit.
Catcher number 33, Chris Iannetta.
This 4th inning brought to you by Harvey Brooker Weight Loss for Men. Call 416-222-9887 or go to harveybrooker.com. Remember, if you could do it alone, you would have done it already. Iannetta struck out first time up. Infield geared for the ground ball. Try to get 2. R.A.'s outside, ball 1. So the plate umpire, Jordan Baker, looking pretty good. We talked about his injury last inning. Our injury report's brought to you by Sokolov Personal Injury Lawyers. Don't put it off. Call Sokolov. Visit ruhurt.ca. R.A. in with a strike at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Mariners are only 49-47. That's pretty hard to believe when you look at their record in the American League East. There's a throw to first base. In the Blue Jays division, the Mariners are 14-6. 6-1 against Baltimore for starters. 2-1 against the Yankees. 4-2 against Tampa Bay, and 1-2 against Boston. Dickey's outside, backhanded by Tolley, 2-1. Now everywhere else, except for interleague play, where they're 9-3, they have a record below 500, and especially in their own division, with the Astros, Angels, A's, and Rangers, they're 16-24. So go figure. Dickey's up and in with a pitch, 3-1.
Well, the Mariners have done a nice job lately taking advantage of the issues that Texas Rangers have been having. They've been able to gain some ground, and now they're right back in the hunt, 5.5 back going into today in the AL West. This is a team that was probably looking at going in the other direction, but now they're right back in it.
Pitch to Iannetta. A strike on the outside corner, 3-2. There are teams that would love to be 14-6 in the East. The Blue Jays are 23-19. They're pretty happy about that record. But the Orioles in the East, 25-17, and thus a half a game lead over Boston, 2 up on the Blue Jays. All right, fires over to first base. Back in standing up is Martin. Mariners 4, Blue Jays 1. We're in the top of the 4th inning. Nobody out. And the 3-2 pitch. Outside, ball 4. So Dickey puts a couple on here for the 9th hitter, Sean O'Malley. Ari has now walked 2. He's hit 2. He's at 67 pitches, and that's over 3+ innings. And now there's a stir out in that Blue Jays bullpen in left center field. Nori Aoki, leadoff hitter, left-handed batter. Sean O'Malley, the 9th hitter and switch hitter, batting left-handed with Aoki on deck. Takes a strike on the inside corner. Franklin Morales was just called up from AAA Buffalo. He wears white 56 on his blue shirt, and he's going to start to get loose. The 0-1 pitch. Turning the bunt is O'Malley. He takes it high. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Blue Jays are hopeful after signing Morales to a 1-year, $2 million contract that after being idle here for basically 4 months, he might be that left-handed reliever they're looking for. He's been with the Royals last year, 67 games, and has a World Series ring to show for it.
Has success against left-handers, too. A few of them coming up in this Mariners lineup.
Ground ball weakly hit to the left side, circling into glove of Tulowitzki. 1 play to first. It's not in time. A base hit for the quick O'Malley on the infield hit, and the bases are loaded with nobody out.
Well, this is just one of those plays. Not a whole lot you can do. Tulowitzki played this about as perfectly as you can. He had to come and get it off balance throw, but with a speedy runner, that's a very difficult play, and O'Malley just beat it out.
Well, here comes pitching coach Pete Walker. I thought this might be a very interesting managerial challenge. If Morales had already been up and warming up, you've got 3 straight left-handed hitters here with the bases loaded in the 4th inning and nobody out. Mariners up 4-1 in Aoki, Smith, and Cano. You talk about an ideal situation to see what you've got, Franklin Morales, but John Gibbons for the moment is going to put that off at least for 1 hitter.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe when Morales got up, it was a little bit late to be ready for Aoki, but I'm sure they're buying a little time here. Regardless of what happens, perhaps he could have the lefty ready for Smith and Cano. Franklin Morales has been tough in his career against left-handers.
Well, he is warming up out in left center field. We see him throwing baseballs from right to left through that chain link fence. Here's Aoki. He's flied out and reached on a ground ball, and then was one of 3 Mariners chauffeured home on a Nelson Cruz grand slam to center off RA in the 3rd. It overcame quickly a 1-0 Blue Jays lead, and the Mariners lead at 4-1 here in the 4th. Nobody out. Martin down from 3rd. Dickey's pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Martin at 3rd, a base hit to left to start the inning. Ianetta's at 2nd, he walked. O'Malley at 1st with the infield hit to short. Donaldson and Smoke at 3rd and 1st respectively, even with the bags. Aoki's a good bunter. The pitch, line to short, off the glove of Tulowitzki. The ball rolls into center field. A run in to score. Everyone else moves up a notch, and Seattle goes out in front 5-1.
Well, the ball was hit very hard by Aoki. It looked like Tulowitzki was going to be able to make the play. He ranged to his left, got his glove out there, and it went right off his glove. Just could not corral the baseball as it rolled into shallow right center field. Everyone moves up 90 feet, but that adds a run on the board for the Mariners.
So Aoki with an infield hit off the glove of Tulowitzki, who's pawing at the dirt with his cleats there at shortstop, and that tells you he's disappointed that he didn't make that play. Now, he was fully extended. It would have been a great play, and thus truly a base hit. And here comes John Gibbons, and that's going to be it for RA. Franklin Morales will get a test here with Smith and Cano back-to-back. A run in, and R.A. just did not have the control he would like to have had here today, and it caught up with him not only with the grand slam and 2 hit batters aboard last inning, but here another walk as part of this rally. So R.A. will leave. Morales will come on. Time for the first call to the bullpen, brought to you by Barwell. You know the number of shutouts and you know the number of strikeouts, but do you know your credit score? Well, thanks to Barwell.com, you can now get...
Ellies. Those Red Sox are home to Minnesota with David Price against Ricky Nolasco. Also tonight, the Detroit Tigers are home to the White Sox. Matt Boyd against Chris Sale in a battle of lefties, and the White Sox are teetering on the brink of going into full sell mode. A lot of people are wondering if Chris Sale might be available, if Jose Quintana might be available at the trade deadline on August 1st. The Houston Astros home to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim with Colin McHugh on the mound against Jared Weaver. The Astros are a game and a half behind the Blue Jays for that second wildcard spot. The Tigers are 3 games back. Also tonight, the San Diego Padres are in Washington. Edwin Jackson against Max Scherzer. And on the St. Louis Barn Grill out-of-town scoreboard, those Padres rumored to be in discussions with the Blue Jays about Melvin Upton Jr., Tyson Ross, Andrew Cashin. Will be interesting to see. For all the scores and stats, go to sportsnet.ca.
Thank you, Mike. Seth Smith will come up here. Bases loaded, a run in for the Mariners, nobody out. 5-1 Seattle here in the fourth. Smith has fouled out and been hit by a pitch by Dickey and scored on the grand slam by Cruz last inning. The 30-year-old from Venezuela, Franklin Morales, in actually his 3rd game as a Blue Jay. He pitched a couple of times in April before going on the DL with stiffness in his left shoulder. He pitches and misses outside ball 1. Morales worked in those 2 games just 2/3 of an inning. Did not give up a run or a base hit. Got a couple of outs and then was shelved and put on the DL back on April the 10th. He's in with a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. He's in his 10th Major League season, and last year, as we said, he pitched 67 games with the Royals. He was 4-2, an ERA of 3.18, and helped the Royals win the World Series. So here he is. Left-handed batters last year hit just 192 off him. The 1-1 pitch. Ground ball hit out to second. Travis has a backhand toss to Tulo, 1 back to first. Call it 2, a double play. Checking in to score from third, Iannetta. Mariners go out in front 6-1. But welcome back, Franklin Morales.
Nice job. He fell behind in the count early, throwing that first pitch ball, but came back. And this time gets Seth Smith out front, rolls over the ground ball. Nice turn by Devin Travis, getting that ball to Tulowitzki, and Tulo had to really unload that ball. What a great arm from the shortstop.
Sean O'Malley ends up at third. Well, he's not through yet. Robinson Cano comes up here. An infield hit in the first, and then hit by a pitch in the third. That's what loaded the bases. 2 straight hit batters off Dickey. And then Cruz delivered with his 24th home run, a grand slam, deep to center that made it 4-1 Mariners. Now they've added 2 more here in the fourth. And the pitch, outside ball 1. Morales' lifetime has pitched now, including today, 303 games, 47 as a starter. He's been with Colorado, Boston, and Kansas City. A high pop-up behind the plate may be playable. Josh Tolley goes to the on-deck circle. He's there. He has it. The inning is over. Well, no matter what happens here today, Franklin Morales has put himself back into the picture here as a strong left-hand. Troy Tulowitzki, Justin Smoke, and Kevin Pillar against the right-hander and starter Hisashi Iwakuma. Pitch outside, ball 1. Well, I'm sure John Gibbons and pitching coach Pete Walker were not happy to see 2 runs score, but thrilled to see Franklin Morales do what he just did.
Well, I asked John Gibbons about that this morning, how he's going to plan on using him, and he said, we'll just see what the situation dictates.
Pitch is inside.
And that was a key situation for him coming in against 2 left-handers. Certainly got the job done, and this could be that left-hander maybe the Blue Jays are looking for to help him down there in the pen.
Tulowitzki bounced into a fielder's choice first time up. He takes a strike on the outside corner. Now, no one's warming up in the Blue Jays bullpen. Maybe down the road, Morales would be just a 1-inning pitcher. But if he does come on to pitch the 5th inning, Nelson Cruz is going to greet him.
It'll be a good test.
Yes, it will. He of the grand slam today, and home run number 24 to lead the Mariners. A foul off to the right, 2-2. Blue Jays scored first in the 2nd inning with 1 out. Kevin Pillar walked. Devin Travis singled to right, moving Kevin to 3rd. He came home on Josh Toley's sacrifice fly to left. But Cruz, with a grand slam to center in the 3rd off R.A. Dickey, made it 4-1, and now 2 in the top of this inning as well in the 4th for Seattle. The pitch hit on the ground down to 3rd. Nice big hop for Seager. Kyle throws it on to 1st to Adam Lynn. 1 down.
First baseman number 14, Justin Smoke.
Help support the Jays Care by purchasing a fan pack that's for $85, including shipping. That pack includes a reusable Blue Jays jersey tote bag, stainless steel kids water bottle, a lot more. Get your pack today. Visit bluejays.com/broadcast auction. Smoke struck out first time up. Big switch hitter, batting left-handed, takes outside, ball 1. Kevin Pillar to follow here in the bottom of the 4th. A strike on the inside corner. Just a footnote to Franklin Morales. We mentioned he's in his 10th Major League season. He began with Colorado back in 2007. He and Troy Tulowitzki were in their first years together. And what happened? Colorado went to the World Series. There's a ground ball weak hit to the right side with a shift on, scooped up by Sean O'Malley, the shortstop. He throws to first, 2 down. So in 07, he goes to the World Series, and the Red Sox win the World Series. In 2013, he's pitching with the Red Sox in his 3rd year, and they win the World Series. So he has 2 rings, one the pennant-winning ring in 07, then the World Series ring of the Red Sox. Last year, he was with Kansas City for 1 year and was instrumental in helping them win a World Series. You don't suppose. Everywhere he's been, he's won a ring going to the World Series. Kevin Pillar fouls one off left-hand side. He'd love to make it a 4th straight team and a 4th straight trip to the World Series. How about that?
Well, I think the Blue Jays would love to see him help out here, and we've talked about the left-handed situation. Brett Cecil off to a very difficult first half of the season. Struggles still continue. Aaron Loop was up. He's now back down to Buffalo. We've seen Chad Gerardo up here. They could really use Morales to stabilize that left-handed side of the pen.
Kevin takes outside.
This will be a good opportunity for him, and this is what the Blue Jays were hoping to get from him when they originally signed him, but that injury has really set him back.
Well, a lot of baseball, of course, left to play. Blue Jays come in here 2 back of Baltimore. The Red Sox in 2nd place. They're a half a game back behind the Orioles. Orioles here next weekend on 1-pitch foul back. Tomorrow, Jay Happ against Wade Miley, a couple of veteran left-handers. We're on the air at 12:30, 107 first pitch. Our pregame guest tomorrow, Canada's own Dave McKay. We caught up with him in Arizona. Broke in with the Twins, born and raised in Vancouver. First Major League at bat, hit a home run. And then started in the snow April 7th, 77 with the Blue Jays at 3rd base in a 9-5 first ever game and win against the Chicago White Sox. 1-2 pitch hit down the right field side. Foul, still 1-2. So that's all tomorrow. The fan has trouble with that down the line. Padres here Monday, Tuesday nights, Wednesday afternoon. Aaron Sanchez, Marcus Stroman, and Marco Estrada will take on the Padres. Thursday's an off day, and then the Orioles here next weekend.
Back in the AL East. Been a while.
It has. Pillar walked and scored back in the 2nd. Hits a ground ball up the middle of the diamond. Backhanded nicely at second by Cano. Snap a throw to first. Well done. The inning is over. So at the end of 4 with Mike Wellner to call the 5th and 6th. Mariners 6, Blue Jays 1. You're listening to Home Hardware Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet.
He went just 3 innings plus 4 batters, gave up 6 runs on 7 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, a home run, and he hit hit 2. And now it's Franklin Morales to face Nelson Cruz, who hit that home run. It's ball 1. Nelson Cruz hitting a grand slam. First grand slam R.A. Dickey has allowed in over 3 years. The last one also against the Seattle Mariners. Morales came in and bailed him out with the bases loaded and nobody out and a run already in the fourth. It took him 5 pitches to get out of it, but now Cruz hits one deep. Left center field, Pilar pulling up before he gets to the track, and he's got it. And it's a dangerous hitter retired by Franklin Morales, who was activated off the 60-day disabled list just yesterday, and he's making his 3rd appearance as a Blue Jay. The Blue Jays had 4 hits last night. They have 2 so far today, trailing the Seattle Mariners 6-1. So far, at least, the bats have not made the trip from Arizona. First pitch to Kyle Seager is a big bender in for a strike. 0-1. Seager is 1 for 2, singled and flied out to the wall in center after that Cruz grand slam. Jesse Chavez now warming up in the Blue Jays bullpen. 0-1 is another curveball, and again a called strike. 0-2. Haven't seen Franklin Morales since the first week of the season. It was the home opener where he couldn't get loose. Wound up on the disabled list until yesterday with shoulder fatigue. His rehab stint was over, and the Blue Jays were forced to make a move with him. They decided to bring him up and have a look. And so far, so good. He's 0-2 on Seager. Morales to the belt. The pitch hit on the ground to second. Travis will wait for it. Fire it over to first. 2 down. And Franklin Morales has gotten 5 outs on 10 pitches.
I saw some slow curveballs that time he led off Seager with, but then he got him with the slider. Breaking balls have been good. What I haven't seen is the fastball that I thought we saw from Franklin Morales earlier in the year. Last year averaging 92, 93 with a fastball. Thought that's what we saw earlier this year here, but it's been 87, 88. So the velocity could certainly be down with the fastball, but he can still be very effective.
Now here's Adam Lind, and he takes a first pitch fastball at the top of the zone for a strike. And the Mariners lineup here with 4 out of 5 left-handed batters. This is just perfect for a guy like Morales. Was death to lefties last year. 0-1 pitch hit on the ground, foul. 0-2. It's an anticipatory crowd here at Rogers Center, waiting for something to cheer for. The Blue Jays very rarely have gotten thumped this season, and they are down by 5, but the big offense can change that in a hurry. Still over half the game to go. The 0-2 curveball just misses outside, doesn't get Lind to chase. Morales wears number 56 on that blue top. Blue Jays fans will remember another lefty wearing that number the last 3 years here in Toronto. 1-2 pitch is down, ball 2, 2-2. The Jays don't retire numbers, except for Roberto Alomar's. Two pitch to Lind is hit into right field, a base hit. We just saw a picture on TV of a bunch of guys doing the edge walk. Buck Martinez and Pat Tabler among them.
That might be from a while ago.
Yeah, that was definitely a while ago. Buck's been away for a bit. Tim Leeper out positioning the defense as yet another lefty comes to the plate, Leonis Martin. And when I say the Blue Jays don't retire numbers, I'm not suggesting Mark Burley's number should be retired after his 3 years as a Blue Jay. I don't think that at all. First pitch swinging, Martin fouls it off. Out of play, left side. Donaldson will give it a look. But what do you think of the idea of when a big player leaves, you kind of hold the number back for a little while?
I can see that. Yeah, I mean, I guess Mark wasn't here for that long, so it's a bit of a different story as opposed to somebody spends a long time or a lot of their career here. Of course, we don't see that a whole lot anymore, so that's going to change, I think, as we move forward.
Martin is 1 for 2, singled and grounded into a double play. Hits that ball in the air, right center. Carrera got a bad break, but it's all right. Pilar's there. He makes the catch, and the inning is over. So on 17 pitches, Franklin Morales gets 6 outs in the 4th and 5th. Facing almost exclusively left-handed hitters. Game, and the Blue Jays are hoping that they've still got one or more in them as we begin this bottom of the fifth. Devin Travis at the plate against Hisashi Iwakuma. And the first pitch is slung in there for a strike, 0-1. Right at the top of the zone. Travis executed a hit and run or run and hit, whatever it was, beautifully in his first at bat for a base hit. Now he hits a line drive up the middle for another one. Leadoff single for Devin Travis here with the Blue Jays trailing the Mariners 6-1 in the bottom of the fifth. Mike Wilner along with Joe Siddle and Jerry Howard. Our on-site engineer and producer is the Tom Young. Tremendous as always. And back at our flagship station, Sportsnet 590 The Fan, it's Viken Paladian and Josh Goldberg. And Joe, that right there, just a beautiful piece of hitting by Devin Travis.
Well, he's got a beautiful swing, and we talk so often about him, how he keeps that bat through the hitting zone, and that was an off-speed pitch that he was actually out front of, but because he stayed through the ball so well, he caught it off the end and drilled it into center.
Josh Tolley takes the first pitch strike. He had a sacrifice line drive in the second inning to drive in the Blue Jays' only run so far. Tolley in to catch R.A. Dickey. Now that R.A. Dickey's out of the game, he will remain in because Russ Martin's not available. There's a fly ball into left center field. Coming over is Aoki, but it's Leonis Martin who will make the catch. And there's one away. Turns it over for the top of the lineup, and it's Ezekiel Carrera, who with a lefty starting tomorrow in Wade LeBlanc, Carrera may be making his final start in the leadoff spot with Jose Bautista due back on Monday. John Gibbons saying yesterday, when Bautista comes back, he will go right back into the leadoff spot. First pitch to Carrera is down, blocked by Iannetta. Ball one.
And Ezekiel will go back to what he does best, and that's being that extra outfielder. He's had his struggles lately, hitting around 220 in his last 19 games, and that's what happens a lot of times to that reserve player that gets put into full-time duty. He's done a great job, but then he's been hampered by that Achilles injury trying to come back. So it's been a bit of a struggle in this last few weeks for Ezekiel, but certainly has filled in admirably.
1-0 pitch is there at the knees for a strike, 1-1. Yeah, Zeke has been able to keep getting on base. He's not hitting for average as a leadoff man since he took over for Jose Bautista. Since Bautista went down, he was hitting .217 going into this game, so that's down a little bit with the 0 for 2. But the on base is around .335, which is still better than the major league average. Not what you want out of a leadoff hitter, but still better than average. 1-1. Inside, ball 2. And I guess even if you're not hitting, if you can keep getting on, you're helping.
Absolutely, especially at the top of the lineup. If you can do that, look what Jose Bautista does as a leadoff hitter for the Blue Jays, right? He's not a 300 hitter, but he gets so many walks and works the count so well that he certainly sets the table for the big boys, but also can do a lot of damage himself with one swing of the bat.
Travis takes his lead. It's a healthy one. He's not going. The 2-1 pitch is chopped towards second over Travis's head. Cano comes in to get it and just slings it over to first. Travis will go to second. And, Joe, I don't know if I have ever seen less chalance than the way that Robinson Cano throws a baseball.
And Adam Lind is having a word with him right now. I think Adam is laughing because he is so nonchalant, Cano is, that when he does glove the ball, he almost, you can barely see where the release point is. He comes up underneath and he flicks it to Adam Lind rather firmly, but it's that arm angle. When you're not far away from the first baseman, that's hard to pick up. Adam almost caught that in self-defense.
Yeah, that was a hard throw from about 18 feet away, up and away from Adam Lind. 2 out for Josh Donaldson, runner at second, and the Blue Jays are down 5. Iwakuma comes set. Checks the runner, Travis. The first pitch to Josh is called high. That's been called a strike all day by Jordan Baker. Ball 1. Fans, it's all about speed, power, and skill. Watch the 103rd edition of the Tour de France through tomorrow when it wraps up on Sportsnet and Sportsnet 1. Donaldson's 0 for 1. He walked and grounded out. 1-0 pitch is low, ball 2. And that ground out in the third inning, he was actually hit by the first pitch, but he dropped his elbow right into it And Jordan Baker said, no, you can't do that. Rightly so. Jesse Chavez finishing his warm-ups in the Blue Jays bullpen. Travis with the lead off second. Donaldson trying to take a piece out of this Mariners lead. The 2-0 is away. Ball 3-0. Can't hit a 5-run home run to tie this game. Just got to do it piece by piece.
Well, it's still only the 5th inning, and that's why if the Blue Jays can just peck away and stay in this ball game. Down 5 is not easy, but if this lead gets any more, it becomes very, very difficult. With this Blue Jays offense, we always say just try to stay within striking distance.
Adam Lind is about a third of the way towards second, maybe even farther, with Robinson Cano just to the right of the second base bag. Shift on for Donaldson. Tons of room on the right side to hit a ground ball through, but with a 3-0 count, that's not what you're looking to do. Here comes the pitch. It is called a strike at the knees. Might have been low, but ball one might have been a strike as well, so it's 3-1.
I think Josh is taking all the way anyway, 3-0, and now he'll look. He knows that Iwakuma still has to come back twice, even though there's an open base. I think Iwakuma will be going after him. Last thing you want to do is be putting runners on with a 5-run lead.
It's now 3-1 on Donaldson as Travis takes the lead off second. The pitch swung on and fouled off right side into the seats, and the count runs full.
Came back with a fastball. Josh fouled it off. Now we'll see if Iwakuma does not go to that split finger, which he loves to do with 2 strikes.
Josh Donaldson's shoes are as Mariner-y colors as you can get and not be on the Mariners. A shockingly light neon blue, kind of turquoisey tealish. He's got a 3-2 count with 2 out. Travis the lead off second. The pitch down, ball 4. Went with a breaking ball, missed, didn't get Donaldson to chase, and now here comes Edwin Encarnacion with a couple of runners on.
Iwakuma went back to the split finger. I expected him to do that, but good for Josh laying off, not trying to do too much. And that's that mentality that this Blue Jays lineup seems to have much better now than earlier in the season in terms of passing the baton. He knows the guy hitting behind him. Now Edwin can make this a new ball game with one swing of the bat.
Encarnacion's 1 for 2 with an infield single. Struck out 3 times last night. Stands in hitting .265 with an OPS of .902. He's got 2 on and 2 out. First pitch to him. Swung on and missed. And there goes the bat. Hits off the roof of the Blue Jays dugout and bounces about 5 rows into the seats. Everybody seems to be okay.
They may need to install that netting in Toronto just because of Edwin. Never mind foul balls.
Yeah, absolutely. And it might have to be 10 stories high. He can get some serious hang time going. As long as everybody's okay. Edwin Encarnacion with 86 runs batted in. Leads the major leagues by 7. David Ortiz is next with 79. The National League leaders, Nolan Arenado of the Rockies, he's only got 73. Edwin on a torrid pace and has a chance for more here. The 0-1. Half swing, he doesn't go. It's called a strike, 0-2.
Good pitch right there by Iwakuma. He came back with a slider down and away. Great location. Edwin offered at it but then held up, but good pitch by the starter Iwakuma.
The Blue Jays had 2 on in the first, didn't score. 2 on in the second, got 1. Iwakuma had retired 8 in a row going into this inning, and now the Jays have 2 on again and 2 out. But it's an 0-2 count on Edwin. The pitch is swung on and missed. He struck him out. Big strikeout for Hisashi Iwakuma to quell a potential rally. And we will go to the 6th inning. The Seattle Mariners lead the Blue Jays. He's trailing Seattle 6-1. Franklin Morales came in for R.A. Dickey in the 4th with the bases loaded and nobody out, and he was sensational. Morales in his first appearance since being activated off the 60-day disabled list. Chavez first pitch to Iannetta misses outside, ball 1. Morales got Seth Smith to hit into a double play, which scored one of Dickey's runs, then popped up Robinson Cano, and worked a scoreless fifth around an Adam Lind single. Swing and a miss by Iannetta, 1-1. 17 pitches to get 6 outs. Great job by Morales.
Well, it is a great job, and this is a good indication because the Blue Jays could certainly use some help in that bullpen. It's been better lately.
Swing and a miss by Iannetta, it's 1-2.
But adding a veteran left-hander like that with playoff World Series experience, that would do wonders for that pen down the stretch.
This is Jesse Chavez's first appearance since Saturday in Oakland, so it's been a week as Iannetta fouls that pitch off 1-2. That Saturday in Oakland, Chavez came in and blew the save, giving up a 2-run double to Yonder Alonso before working his way out of the inning. The Jays came back and won with that Josh Donaldson 2-run double in the 9th. Power hitting catcher here, Chris Iannetta. The 1-2 pitch is fouled straight back.
Jesse will be around 92, 93 with the fastball, curveball, cutter, and changeup. And that pitch right there is one he likes to throw. It's the front door cutter around 90 miles per hour to the right-handed batter. He'll start it in off the plate, try to bring it back.
1-2 pitch hit hard into the gap in left center field. Saunders coming over, and it gets by him, and it'll go all the way to the wall. That will be a double for Iannetta, who doesn't run well at all, as Saunders gets it back into the infield. Saw Michael closing on that, thought he might have a shot, but it was just by him. And it brings up Sean O'Malley as another, well, not a run really. You can't call it a run of left-handed hitters for the Mariners when they've only got 2 righties in the lineup. This is a left-handed heavy lineup for Seattle. And O'Malley bunts it up towards third. Donaldson bare hand, takes his time, throws to first, not in time. And we'll see if the Blue Jays want to take another look at that one. That really seemed like O'Malley was out. It wasn't horribly blatant or anything like that, but to third comes Chris Iannetta. For now, it's a bunt single, but John Gibbons saying, hold on, and let's see if we want to take a look at this.
I have a feeling they might want to take a look at this. Josh picked up the bunt perfectly, and I thought the throw beat him. We'll see what the replay shows, but just the speed of O'Malley making this such a close play.
Yeah, he gets down the line in a hurry, and the Blue Jays do ask for an official replay review. We get that slow motion look, and it's really close. I think he might have beaten it. Haven't gotten a great look. They're showing it now on the Jumbotron, which is even harder to get a great look at. You'll hear the fans cheer either way because they think he's out, and from that angle it kind of looked like he was. But as we look at it here, it's when the ball contacts the glove, where's the foot? Hey, he's out.
I think the throw beat him. The interesting part here is because the call on the field could alter the decision. The heel, it's the heel of the base runner that actually touched the base first, but the question is, did the heel engage with the base before the front of his foot came back down on the bag? That's what's making it very interesting.
That's the toughest part, because you don't expect a guy to hit a bag heel first. And the question is, did his heel actually touch the base, or was it sort of up against the base with his foot coming down and not quite on it? That's the question that's going to have to be answered.
I think by watching that the throw did beat him, but I'm not so sure there's going to be enough evidence to overturn this.
The question is, when did the ball hit the mitt? Because umpires, before the recent advent of replay, had to go by sound and while watching the foot. And so it's the same thing. Not when the ball enters the mitt, but when the ball makes contact with the first baseman's mitt. Where's the foot? And here it looks like the heel might be touching the bag and it might not. And again, it has to be conclusive evidence to overturn a call on the field. The headsets are coming off. And the call is safe. And the official story of the replay review is that the call stands, which means it is not confirmed, which means they could not find conclusive evidence to overturn it.
Interesting that O'Malley was bunting in a 6-1 ball game with a runner on second. I saw the corner infielders playing in, but I still thought he may swing away. He dropped down a perfect bunt, and as I said, the speed just beat the throw from Donaldson.
Now it's Aoki, who's 1 for 3. RBI single in the fourth that knocked R.A. Dickey out of the game. First pitch to him is hit foul. Back of the plate 0-1. That RBI single was a line drive up the middle that went in and out of the glove of Troy Tulowitzki. Or just maybe off the end of his glove. A play Tulowitzki, I'm sure, would think he should have made. But a tough play nonetheless. Blue Jays are down 6-1 here in the top of the sixth inning. Nobody out, runners on the corners. It's the fourth time the Mariners have had a runner at third with less than 2 outs today. The previous 3 have all scored. Nelson Cruz hit a grand slam in the third inning. First grand slam given up by R.A. Dickey in 3 years. There's a swing and a ground ball past the diving Smoke and into right field. A base hit. In to score is Iannetta. O'Malley will come to third. Another ribby single for Aoki. And the Mariners lead now 7-1.
A tough start to the inning for Jesse Chavez. That ball off the bat of Iannetta to lead this inning off. A ball that Michael Saunders just could not get to. It ends up falling in the gap for a double. And then the sacrifice bunt really by O'Malley turns into an infield hit. And now Aoki drills one through the hole on the right side.
Mentioned the grand slam by Nelson Cruz. That is his third career grand slam against the Blue Jays. That ties the all-time record for grand slams against the Jays as Seth Smith takes ball 1. Alvin Davis also has 3. Also a former Seattle Mariner. Rookie of the Year in 1984, I want to say. That pitch, called a strike on Seth Smith. It was way outside. It's another pitch outside again. Ball 1, 1-1. Rough day for the Blue Jays. Trailing the Seattle Mariners 7-1. They've been out hit 11-3. As R.A. Dickey makes his shortest start as a Blue Jay, going just 3 innings plus 4 batters. Next pitch to Smith is low. And it's 2-1.
We talked about add-on runs for the Mariners, and the more they continue to add on these little single runs hurt so much. Blue Jays trying to come back from a 5-run deficit. Now it's already 6, and Mariners looking to add more. Very difficult for an offense.
Yeah, with the runner at third and nobody out to go with that runner at first. There's a ground ball, right field, base hit. In to get it is Carrera. So stopping at second is Aoki, but scoring is Sean O'Malley. And Seth Smith gets in on the hit parade as well. His RBI single. Now it's 8-1 Seattle. And here comes Robinson Cano. Nothing doing in the Blue Jays bullpen right now. Jesse Chavez is getting knocked around. And we'll remind you that Friday fan festivals presented by Bacardi continue. The next one is this coming Friday, July 29th, the pregame performance by the Tokyo Police Club. The patio opens at 4:30, and at 7 o'clock it's the Blue Jays and the Baltimore Orioles. Go to BlueJays.com to get your tickets. Jays are currently 2 games behind the Baltimore Orioles for first place in the AL East. Should be a fun weekend when they come in. First pitch by Chavez is in the dirt to Cano. Ball 1. Cano's 1 for 2. Was hit by a pitch. Singled and fouled out. Every Seattle Mariner has a hit today. Seth Smith was the last one to notch one. He's on first with his RBI single. 2 on and nobody out here in the top of the 6th. Blue Jays are down 8-1. 1-0 pitch. There for a strike, 1-1.
It's not a good matchup for Jesse Chavez. He's been better against left-handed hitters more lately, but it was a rough start in the first half. Left-handers certainly had his number, and the Mariners lineup here is filled with them.
Cano takes the pitch outside, ball 2, 2-1. Cano hitting .301. 356 on base, 532 slugging. Having another great year. Stubbed his toe the first half last season with Seattle. Did not hit well, and people were saying, what were they thinking signing him to this deal? It's been outstanding since, and now he clubs one foul right field side into the 200 level. A section foul. It's 2-2. And I imagine it's the same sort of thing people were saying about Troy Tulowitzki here. They were saying about Robinson Cano there. But the great hitters don't just fall off a cliff in their early 30s.
No, and the difference with Cano is he stayed in the same league, staying in the American League. A lot of times you'll hear about players like Tulowitzki changing leagues. You're facing more pitchers now that you haven't seen over a number of years. But for Cano, you had to figure this was going to change, and certainly the Mariners are seeing it. Very rough start last year, but this is one of the primetime hitters in this game.
He's got 2 runners on, still nobody out. He's the 5th hitter here in the 6th inning against Jesse Chavez. The 2-2 pitch hit on the ground into right field. A base hit. Carrera in to get it. Fires it home, but held at third is Seth Smith or Norichika Aoki. Smith to second. And the bases are loaded with nobody out. And 2 runs already in here in the 6th inning. Pete Walker's going to come out and talk to Jesse Chavez. Bo Schultz is moving around in the Blue Jays bullpen. I don't know if he's going to grab his glove to get ready, but everybody just taking their sweet time to come out to the mound and try to give Jesse Chavez a breather. And sometimes when you're down 7 runs in the 6th inning, a reliever's just got to eat it for a while.
Well, it is, and that's exactly what's happening. Bo Schultz is scrambling around that Blue Jays bullpen right now to get loose, windmilling that right arm, but it's just one of those afternoons for the Blue Jays. Talked about the Seattle offense. It's a good offense, and they've just been struggling lately, but we're starting to see more and more now what they're made of, and putting together a bunch of hits this inning, adding to their lead, has showed that.
Bo Schultz starting to throw now, and Michael Saunders windmilling his right arm around in the outfield. He hasn't had anything to do for a while as Nelson Cruz comes to the plate. Cruz has a big swing today, a grand slam in the 3rd inning. Put the Mariners on the board, made it 4-1 Seattle. It's now 8-1 Seattle. He's got a chance to do it again. And he takes a home run swing and misses on a first pitch breaking ball from Chavez, 0-1. Nelson Cruz and Alvin Davis have each hit 3 grand slams against the Blue Jays. No one has ever hit 4. And Cruz here with the bases loaded. 0-1, curveball again and again, swung on and missed, 0-2. And here's where you can take this big deficit and a guy trying to do something special and use it against him.
Use that aggression of Nelson Cruz. I think he's going to go right back to the breaking ball. We'll see what Josh Tolley's thinking right here. But when you see a big hitter like that, chase 2 balls down like that, come back with it again.
Here comes the 0-2. It's another breaking ball, and he holds off this time. 1-2.
Now, he may have to mix in a fastball, maybe elevate it or come inside with one to go back to that pitch.
Shenanigans going on in the Seattle dugout right now. They're having fun, leading the Blue Jays 8-1 and looking for more. Bases loaded, nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning. Chavez ahead of Nelson Cruz, 1-2, taking his time, and now Nelson will ask for time and get it. Now Jesse's set. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on, hit foul. Came with a fastball that time, and it's out of play. 1-2.
He did come with the fastball, but when you come with a fastball in a situation like that against a big hitter like Cruz, what you want to ideally do is come inside or elevate it. Make him move his feet, brush him back, get him conscious of that fastball in, and then you can go back out. I don't think a fastball down in the zone on the inner part of the plate does that.
See where he goes here. Another 1-2, another breaking ball, and taken by Nelson Cruz.
It's about feeling comfortable, and as a pitcher or catcher calling the game, you're trying to make that hitter feel uncomfortable. Nelson Cruz is a very good hitter. He's shown that today, the power that he has. But if you're not going to make him conscious of a good fastball inside, if you don't do that, he's feeling pretty good at handling the ball away, even though we've seen him chase a couple of breaking balls. It improves his chances now of covering that pitch.
And Josh Thole goes out and has a little chat with Jesse Chavez. Bases loaded, nobody out. Here's the 2-2 to Cruz. Breaking ball up and swung on and foul back. 2-2. And I don't know if Chavez meant it to be there. I can't imagine he did.
No, that's not where you want that pitch at all. That's a ball backed up on him. Not very good. And that's as a pitcher, you're just lucky he fouled it off and kept it in the ballpark.
A long inning on a searingly hot day. The 2-2 pitch is outside with a fastball, and the count is full. And now here's where you see the fielders are taking their gloves off. They're kicking some dirt around. They're wandering. It's been a long time that they've been out there. And Chavez taking his time between pitches. Here's a big one, 3-2, with the bases loaded and nobody out. And here it comes. It is swung on, hit on the ground to short. Tulowitzki flipped to second one, throw to first, a double play. Fantastic play by Troy Tulowitzki to get 2 out of that one. Not hit hard to his right. Pretty play. The Mariners will add another run, but the Jays get 2 outs. They're down 9-1.
Excellent turn by Tulowitzki, ranging to his right, and the ball was not hit real hard. He backhanded it and jumped and spun and off-balance throw to Travis. Nice turn by Devin at second base. Nelson Cruz, of course, does not run real well, but a beautiful double play by the Blue Jays.
Now Kyle Seager, first pitch is inside, and he jackknifes away from it. Ball 1. It's the third double play into which the Mariners have hit today. The second one that scored a run. They're all over the Jays today, 9-1. The 1-0 pitch to Seager is right there for a strike. 1-1. Next delivery is hit in the air to center field deep. Pilar on his horse, running hard. He looks up, and that ball is gone. Kyle Seager with his 19th home run of the year, a 2-run shot, and the Seattle Mariners extend their lead to 11-1. And that is going to be it for Jesse Chavez, an outing that he would love to be able to forget.
Well, Jesse had to face a lot of lefties in this Mariners lineup, and it gave him all kinds of trouble. It started rough for him again this when the scoreboard looks like it does right now.
That is not pretty. The Blue Jays are down 11-1 here in the top of the 6th inning, and here's Adam Lind, who's 1 for 2 with a walk, facing Bo Schultz, and Bo has had his difficulties against left-handers this season. Not much of a sample size as he delivers strike 1. Bo has pitched just 9 1/3 innings, so you can't really get a read, but lefties are hitting .357 against him. He misses there to Lind. Ball 1, 1-1. Last year, Schultz made his Blue Jays debut and was very effective for them out of the bullpen. There's a swing and a miss, 1-2. Last year, the numbers, the splits weren't as massive. His lefties hit just 148 against him. The righties were way better, hitting 242. And a much bigger sample of at-bats. The 1-2 pitch to Adam Lind is swung on, hit on the ground. Right side, Travis with a reach, grabs it, throw to first, and he got him. A terrific play by Devin Travis going hard to his left to end this nightmare inning for the Blue Jays. The Mariners get 5. Bottom of the 6th inning, and the Blue Jays trail the Seattle Mariners 11-1 as Michael Saunders stands in. And we'll remind you that MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 supported devices. Saunders takes a first pitch strike. MLB.TV Premium includes a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackouts and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. 0-1 pitch is up. Ball one, 1-1. On a searingly hot day in Toronto, the Blue Jays are getting punched in the mouth by the Seattle Mariners, trailing 11-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. That pitch is outside for ball 2, 2-1. Michael Saunders grew up a Seattle Mariner. And this weekend's the first time he's ever faced them. It's 2-1 pitch. Swung on, hit in the air to left field. That's hit deep. Back goes Aoki. He's at the wall, and that ball is gone. 2 career games against the Seattle Mariners and 2 home runs. Michael Saunders with his 18th to put a dent in the big lead. Blue Jays are now down 11-2.
Shortstop #2, Troy Tulowitzki.
Well, if nothing else, it gives these fans something to cheer about. This is just a 2-1 sinker. Down in the zone, but stayed in the middle of the plate. Michael put a good swing on it, and I think that ball again just carried very well here at Rogers Center to left field.
Now Troy Tulowitzki, who's 0 for 2. Swinging at the first pitch, he fouls it away. Yeah, it felt like Seager's carried as well. I didn't think that ball was going to go. Saunders goes opposite field for both his home runs this weekend.
It's a good swing by Michael because he's not trying to do that, but he's certainly not rolling anything over. He's keeping that bat, staying inside the baseball, thinking middle of the field, and really powering it the other way.
0-1 pitch is a strike on the outside corner, 0-2. 18 home runs for Saunders. That puts him 1 off of his career high. Iwakuma with that little waggle, and his 0-2 pitch hit in the air to left field. Deep, but not deep enough. In front of the track, Aoki's got it. And that's the first out. We'll bring up another former Seattle Mariner, Justin Smoke. And as he comes to the plate, we'll check on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. 2 games begin in the next 40 minutes. The Philadelphia Phillies are in Pittsburgh. Aaron Nola against Tyler Glasnow there, in a battle of what they're billing as young aces. Maybe these are young aces to be. Very talented young pitchers. First pitch to Smoke, hit in the air to left. Coming in is Aoki. Now he'll pull up and make a catch, and there's 2 down. Elsewhere on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-town scoreboard, it's the Giants and the Yankees in New York. Ivan Nova on the hill for the Yankees, and Johnny Cueto for the Giants. Usually the Yankees are the Blue Jays' 1:05 Eastern Saturday afternoon neighbors, but they're on Fox TV in the States today, so start time has been pushed back. Kevin Pillar, 0 for 1 with a walk, takes the first pitch called a strike, 0-1. And tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern time in Miami, a heck of a pitching matchup, as Pillar hits one off the leg of Iwakuma right to the shortstop. O'Malley throws it to first, and the inning is over on the 1-6-3. Mets and Marlins tonight. Jose Fernandez against Jacob deGrom. Here, it's been kind of ugly. We'll go to the
top of the 7th inning here at the Rogers Center. The Mariners, 11 runs, 14 hits, leading it 11-2. Blue Jays held to just 2 runs on 4 hits. Bo Schultz to Leonis Martin, the only man who did not bat in the 5-run 6th inning. Comes up here and takes ball 1. Martin is 1 for 3, a single to left. He'll be followed by Chris Iannetta and then Sean O'Malley. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. R.A. Dickey today went just 3+ innings. gave up a grand slam to Nelson Cruz in the third inning after the Blue Jays had scored a run in the second inning for a quick 1-0 lead, but a slam by Cruz, his club-high 24th home run in the third, made it 4-1. There's a ground ball weakly hit to second. Chavez has it. Quick throw on the first in plenty of time, 1 down. Then R.A. gave up 2 more in the fourth inning. An inning that started with a hit, a walk, and a base hit. Aoki's infield hit drove in a run to make it 5-1. That was it for R.A. Franklin Morales came on, did a tremendous job. He got the first hitter, Seth Smith, to hit into a double play. A run did score. That's twice today the Mariners have hit into double plays and runs have scored. But then after that, Cano fouled out to the catcher with a runner at third, so Morales terrific there, and then had a scoreless fifth inning before Seattle scored 5 in the 6th off Jesse Chavez. Kyle Seager with a 2-run home run to highlight it after RBI singles by Aoki and Smith. Schultz misses ball 1 to Iannetta. Pitches outside. Meanwhile, Hisashi Iwakuma, 6 innings, gave up a run in the second inning on a sacrifice fly to left by Josh Toley, and that was in great part due to the base running of Kevin Pillar from third. And then Michael Saunders, a leadoff home run to left center in the 6th, and that's it. Schultz misses outside, 3-0.
That was a rough one for R.A., no question. Of course, we talked about the long ball before this game. It's been an issue for him, and unfortunately today the big one he gave up was with the bases loaded. Nelson Cruz's one swing of the bat really turned this ball game around back in the third.
That was the difference maker. 3-0 pitch in for a strike. And that was with 2 hit batters before that. So good teams are going to make you pay for mistakes. And the Mariners have a good team. The surprising thing is they're just 49-47 with their pitching staff ERA under 4 at 3.94. That's 4th best in the league. There's a line drive base hit into left field down the line. Over to get it, Saunders, making the turn. Iannetta. Saunders with a good recovery. Throw it to second on the fly. And back to first goes Iannetta with his second hit today. So be sure and play the VTech Bottom of the Line Trivia Challenge for your chance to win weekly VTech prize packs, plus the grand prize, a family trip for 4 to next year's spring training in Dunedin. Enter now and play on your smartphone, tablet, or online at VTechTrivia.com for your chance to win. Here we are talking about the Mariners with the 4th lowest staff earned run average. Only Cleveland, the Blue Jays, and Houston with ERAs as a staff under 4 in the American League. Pitches outside, ball 1 to the switch hitter up here batting left-handed Sean O'Malley. We mentioned the Mariners are second in the major leagues in home runs. They have 140. 1 more than the third-place Blue Jays. The Orioles lead the majors 144. The pitch is high. Now, one issue that the Mariners have, defense. They have committed 62 errors, and they've given up 36 unearned runs.
And that's a big factor. And when you look at what the Mariners are doing, you think of if you improve that defense, where could they be? And I'm sure they're asking themselves, and Scott Service, their manager. Defense we've seen supports your pitchers so much.
The pitch is outside. And that does not include plays not made. For me, even in the 5-run 6th inning on the first hitter, Chris Iannetta, he lined a ball to left center field. Michael Saunders didn't take the best route to it, and on a ball that could have been caught, play not made, it got by Michael, and that double started a 5-run 6-hit rally. The pitch is in for strike 3-1. That's what we're talking about regarding helping a pitching staff.
That's why exactly what you just described. It's not all the numbers and errors and fielding percentage, so to speak, plays made, plays not made. That ball off the bat of Iannetta and the play not made by Saunders started that inning. Who knows what happens if he catches that and there's nobody on him, 1 out.
A foul off to the left. This is why John Gibbons, late in games with the lead, has put in Ezekiel Carrera to play left field for Michael Saunders. Now, Michael is a fine player. But defensively, that was a play that if he just takes a good straight route over to, he's got it.
And I think we've seen a difference in Michael's defense. You didn't see him a whole lot last year, of course, and we didn't see him a whole lot when he was with the Mariners before. But what we're seeing this year is I think that knee is certainly hampering him on the field defensively. Good news, it's not hampering him offensively.
Strike 3 called. Schultz hits the outside corner. O'Malley gone 2 away. And here again, too, we're talking about Saunders and everybody playing on artificial turf, and it's a better turf than what they had here before, but it's not grass.
Still not going to help, that's for sure. But coming off that knee problem last year, you had to believe there's going to be an effect. But as I said, it's surprising that it hasn't affected him offensively, and that's a great, great thing. but you will probably see him with Blue Jays leads be replaced in left field late in the ballgame.
11-2 Seattle here in the Mariners' 7th inning. Runner first, 2 down for Nori Aoki. Left-handed hitter takes strike 1 called. And for Jesse, too, he was his own worst enemy. There was only, from what I can recall, a couple of swings and misses. There were a lot of ground balls hit for base hits, then the 2-run home run by Kyle Seager. And when Cano singled on the ground to right, that gave Jesse 18 pitches at that point over just 5 hitters, 13 strikes, 5 balls. But he had not recorded an out. A high foul goes off to the left, and it's 0-2. And this is what, too, the Blue Jays have to look at regarding Jesse or any reliever. Can you, with a weapon, a swing and a miss pitch, come out of tough innings? And Jesse was unable to do that.
Well, and I think it was a bad matchup for Jesse, as I talked about, against the left-handers. He has been better against left-handers lately, but it's been tough for him all season long. Left-handed hitters today look very comfortable in the batter's box against Chavez.
So a lot of hard-hit ground balls. And the upshot of it all, 11 runs, 15 hits for Seattle, leading 11-2. Ground ball hit weakly down to first, scooped up nicely by Smoke. Take it to the bag, and the inning is over. Bottom of the 7th we go. The Mariners by 9. You're listening to Home Hardware Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
There are dream teams, and then there are clean teams.
Phone call or go to online at bluejays.com/luxury suites. The Blue Jays Acura Luxury Suites, a great way to put together a business meeting right out here to enjoy Blue Jays baseball. 11-2 Seattle, out hitting the Blue Jays 15-4. Hisashi Iwakuma is gone. Great job. Gave up runs in the 2nd and 6th innings. That's it now. Wade LeBlanc, the veteran left-hander who started the year in AAA Buffalo with the Blue Jays organization, now with the Mariners, to face Devin Travis, Josh Tolley, and leadoff hitter Ezekiel Carrera. LeBlanc misses low and outside, ball 1.
LeBlanc has made 4 starts for the Mariners, 1-0 with a 3.63 ERA. He's done a nice job for the Mariners in the rotation. 10-year career, and now he's going to work out of the Mariners bullpen.
Devin hits one down the right side, foul, 1-1. The Blue Jays elected not to call up LeBlanc. They did call up Scott Diamond for one outing here, born in Guelph, but it didn't work out, and Diamond, after the game, was sent back to AAA Buffalo. So LeBlanc was sent to Seattle, and here he is now facing the team that signed him here this winter. The pitch rolled up along third, foul, 1 ball and 2 strikes. LeBlanc looking in as his marching orders from Chris Iannetta, the 1-2 pitch, low and outside. Wade is a 6'3 lefty born in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Padres made him a 2nd-round pick out of UCLA, out of the University of Alabama, I beg your pardon, back in 2006, 10 years ago. Made his debut with the Padres 2 years after that in 08. He's in there, strike 3 called. Travis caught looking on an 84-mile-an-hour pitch. And when you've been around as long as LeBlanc has, and he turns 32 next month, that's what you're going to do. It's location and not so much velocity, but pinpoint control.
Oh, he just changed up on him right there. He's not an overpowering left-hander. He'll just be around 88, 89 with the fastball, curveball, cutter, and changeup. And he left that changeup right on the outside corner. Great location.
Tolley up here. Josh takes ball 1. LeBlanc has been with the Padres, the Marlins, Astros, Angels, Yankees, and now Seattle. 1-0 pitch. Weakly hit on the ground to the right side, waiting for it. Cano at second. Snap a throw on to first. 2 down. Tolley 0 for 2 in a sacrifice fly. And the Blue Jays right now, you can bet, are hopeful that Russ Martin can come back tomorrow and provide a little spark for an offense that in 2 games here has produced 3 runs on 8 hits.
They've certainly been silenced here, and it was a tough go coming out of that All-Star break. Blue Jays dropping 2 out of 3 in Oakland, but they came back in Arizona, looked more like themselves, but not what the way they wanted to open up this homestand.
Ezekiel Carrera takes a strike. Speaking of Buffalo tonight, don't forget, join us right here on our flagship station, Sportsnet 590 The Fan, 6 p.m. That Bison's game with play-by-play broadcaster Ben Wagner and his on-air partner, Duke McGuire. will be there for you as the Buffalo Bisons host Gwinnett, the Atlanta AAA club. A strike called to Carrera makes it 0-2. So that's tonight, 6 p.m. Drew Hutchison on the mound. The pitch is low. Sold out game, 17,700. Jose Bautista will be the full DH for the game tonight, and then tomorrow at 1 p.m. he'll be in right field for all 9 innings, and then expected here Monday against the San Diego Padres. Aaron Sanchez against Colin Ray. That's on Monday night here. Padres in for 3 to renew acquaintances in interleague play. LeBlanc misses inside, 2-2. Dalton Pompey just had a hit and run scored streak of 6 straight games snapped yesterday. He was hitting .500, 12 for 24. Dominic Brown had an 8-game hitting streak come to an end. Pitch, strike 3 called. LeBlanc comes back to haunt the team that signed him in the offseason and put him in AAA Buffalo. We go to the 8th inning. It's all Seattle, leading at 11-2. The Bull trips in Super 8. That's what they call a triple play. Journey onward at super8.com. And it's a clash for the opportunity to become champions. WWE Battleground tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on the WWE Network. Visit WWE.com/Canada to see who that champion is. 11-2 Seattle. Top of the 8th inning, Drew Storen on to face the left-hand hitting Seth Smith. Hits second in Scott Service's lineup. Smith takes strike 1 called.
Well, it's been a struggle for Drew Storen. That ERA up over 5.5. Opponents hitting almost 300 against him. He last worked on Saturday in Oakland. Pitched just a third of an inning, giving up a hit in that Blue Jays 5-4 loss.
And the 0-1 delivery drops in there, strike 2 called. Well, the one thing that the Blue Jays will take out of this game today, and it's 11-2 Seattle, so not a lot regarding that. Franklin Morales. He went on the disabled list back on April the 10th with stiffness in his left shoulder. Has not been heard from since until today when he came on with the bases loaded and nobody out in the 4th inning. The 0-2 pitch is inside. Smith was at the plate when Morales came on. Smith hit into a second, a short to first double play. Yes, a run scored. And the next hitter, Robinson Cano, fouled out to the catcher. Morales in the next inning had a scoreless inning, gave up a 2-out hit to right by Adam Lynn. He put himself on the map here today at the end of July here to hopefully give the Blue Jays that much coveted left-handed pitcher in their bullpen. 1-2 pitch, foul back.
Well, they certainly could use it. And I know John Gibbons talked about that this morning, hoping that he can come up here and help out, especially on the left side. Brett Cecil has certainly had his struggles, and really all around, but especially as a left-hander, Franklin can be very difficult on left-hand batters.
Well, what you're starting to look at, Roberto Osuna in the 9th, and then an 8th and 9th inning, an 8th and 7th inning setup, perhaps with Jason Grilli and Franklin Morales. And then beyond that, you're not sure quite what you have. The 1-2 pitch is outside.
Well, I think that's why the Blue Jays are still in the market before this trade deadline to try to acquire something, whether it's 1 or 2 down there. It has to be better. There's no question. You have to be much better in the back end of that bullpen if you're going to make a postseason run.
It's so critical to get those last 9 outs, and the World Series champions do that. And the Kansas City Royals, an excellent example of that last year. The 2-2 pitch, fouled off left-hand side. It doesn't have to be 3 spectacular pitchers. The Royals 2 years in a row did that, dominating the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, and they made 2 straight trips to the series. So time will tell, but Franklin Morales today, and one game doesn't make a career, he at least came on in a very difficult situation and looked very good coming out of it. 11-2 Seattle here in the 8th inning. 2-2 pitch. Hit foul off to the left-hand side. And these are the at-bats, too, regarding Drew Storen and why he's had trouble, Joe, as you mentioned. And we said this with Jesse Chavez. Where is the swing and a miss pitch? And you have to have that to win games out of the bullpen.
And Drew has the ability to strike batters out, but we've seen that slider. He'll work at both sides of the plate. That's usually his go-to in this situation. He's come in with a couple of fastballs. Let's see if he tries to put him away now with the slider.
The first hitter he's facing here. His 8th pitch is on its way. And it's just inside, ball 3, 3 balls and 2 strikes. R.A. Dickey went 3+. He gave up 6 runs, all earned on 7 hits. His game to lose. Iwakuma went 6, gave up 2 runs on 4 hits, his game to win. The 3-2 pitch fouled off again, left-hand side. What's very interesting, of course, and it's so much talked about now, Aaron Sanchez. Because one of the viable options is if you can obtain a starter, and the Blue Jays would ideally love to have one for a couple of years under contract, then Sanchez becomes part of your bullpen too, with a Grilli and with a Morales. Just speculating on where the Blue Jays might go to try and defend their Eastern Division title and get to the World Series. 3-2 pitch is low, ball 4, and Drew Storen right there with a 10-pitch plate appearance there to Smith and could not put him away.
And that's a very delicate equation right there when you talk about the Aaron Sanchez situation. Do you just let him go as a starter, try to protect him, maybe spot start somebody, give him an extra day off here or there, and try to go as far as you can with him as a starter? There's going to be a time, I think the Blue Jays will say, that's enough. His maximum is just around 130 innings, so that makes it very difficult. Or do you put him in the bullpen? And my question to that, too, is that okay? And I know he's been a reliever. He's done it. But it's almost like running a marathon all season long as a starter, and then you're going to ask him to run 20 sprints. So is that a cause for possible injury to an arm?
A strike call, and that's what makes the whole situation such an interesting topic of discussion.
It is very interesting, and for the Blue Jays' sake, it's almost like no matter what they do, if he eventually gets hurt somehow, they're going to be blamed for the way they handle him. That's, to me, what the most unfair thing is. If you ask Aaron himself, he's strong, he's durable, he feels great. I say let him go until he shows signs.
And that's a favorable opinion, too, among many. Let him just continue to pitch until from the dugout you see that the wear and tear has taken its toll, and then hope for the best regarding move to the bullpen. The strike 1 pitch. Strike 2 called, outside corner.
And I think the risk with that is anytime you do see pitchers with arm injuries, it's not like necessarily the red flags go up a couple weeks early and say, hey, he's weakening. So that makes it very difficult as well. There's no winning decision here. I don't think there's anything that's going to say this is the right thing to do. You want to protect him because he's part of your future. And Sanchez has a chance to be an excellent starting pitcher here for many years to come.
2 pitch wrapped on the ground over first, fair, base hit down the line. Smith on his way to third. Now a spectator interferes with that, so Smith will be kept there. A double for Cano, and Storen comes out here with a leadoff walk and a double, and Seattle trying to add to an 11-2 lead here in the 8th.
Designated hitter number 23, Nelson Cruz.
Well, this is what has kept Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins busy, as a pinch runner will come out of that Seattle dugout. Jogging out to second base is Luis Sardiña. We've just seen him come up here a couple of days ago. Sardiña will run there at second base. But for Shapiro and for Atkins, they've got a lot to look at. And the Baltimore Orioles, they're looking for a starter as well to get them to the playoffs in the World Series. So there's a great competition in the American League East for pitching.
You know what's very interesting, too, is a resounding theme is starting pitching.
Sardiña the lead at second. Cano leaves the game here. At third base is Smith. The pitch misses, ball 1.
I think what's very intriguing is you've got a couple of teams going for it, like the Orioles, like the Blue Jays, and one of the weaknesses may be starting pitching. When you look at Baltimore, that's what's hard to believe, that they've done this well with a very shaky rotation.
Cruz takes it outside.
And they did that with a tremendous lineup that scores a lot of runs. They hit for power and an outstanding bullpen. And what a back end they have right now in Brad Brock and Zach Britton. So many different aspects to help your team succeed. But at the deadline, everyone's trying to fit that little need that they have to improve their club.
2-0 pitch hit down the right side, foul. 2 balls and 1 strike. And it was at this point last year that the Blue Jays traded 11 minor league players and stars to get to 93 wins and 2 games shy of the World Series. So that makes it difficult, too, for the new regime.
And it's not that the cupboard is bare. There's still a lot of good prospects here in the Blue Jays system. However, not near as many, and especially arms. So that begs the question, how much more do you want to give up, of course, to go for it this year, which I certainly think the Blue Jays will be doing.
Fly ball rocked to left field. That's a 3-run home run. Nelson Cruz with a grand slam, and now a 3-run home run. 7 runs batted in. And it's 14-2 Seattle, as Drew Soren now finds the road pretty difficult here coming out of the bullpen. Nelson Cruz home runs numbers 24 and now 25. Seattle 3 home runs today, 141, trailing only the Baltimore Orioles for the Major League lead.
Well, we've seen Jesse Chavez struggle today, and now we're seeing Drew Storen struggle today, and it's really been that resounding theme. They've had signs, they've showed signs of coming around, but it's just been very inconsistent, and this is exactly what our discussion has been about. How do the Blue Jays improve this bullpen if they're going to make a run?
20th time Nelson Cruz has had a 2-home-run game. There's a strike call to Kyle Seager. Nobody out here in this 3-run 8th inning. Storen's 0-1 pitch. That's outside. Nelson Cruz signed by the Mets back in 1998. And he is just getting better and better with each year. A strike on the outside corner. Seven RBIs. Ha, that's nothing. Twice he's already had 8 RBI games in his career.
7 RBIs is a good week.
The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Storen struck him out. Down goes Seager, first out of the inning. And here comes Adam Lind. How about this for Cruz? And sometimes this is just baseball. The last time that Nelson drove in 8 runs was May of 2012. He was with the Texas Rangers. Who did he do that against? Yes, the Blue Jays. And 7 today, 4 years later. Adam takes outside ball 1. Cruz has had back-to-back years of 40-plus home runs. 44 last year in his first year with the Mariners. 40 the year before that with Baltimore. And you like his chances to do that again this year. A strike call to Adam, 1-1. Lynn today, 1 for 3. He's also walked. All Seattle. A lot of crooked numbers up on that scoreboard. The pitch lined to short over the head of a leaping Troy Tulowitzki. A base hit for Lynn. Might have even cracked his bat. He hit it off the end of the bat, but there again, that lack of a swing and a miss weapon, and Lynn has his second hit.
Like an off-speed pitch. Adam was caught out front, but you're right on about that. He stayed through the baseball long enough, hit it off the end and broke his bat, but that's what good hitters do, is they stay through the baseball, and it may cost you a bat, but he'll exchange that bat for a hit anytime.
One out. 1 on. Martin up, left-handed hitter, center fielder, swings and he misses, strike 1. Martin 1 for 4. He singled and scored back in the 2-run 4th inning. So Lynn with his lead at first. Smoke plays well behind him. Storen with a strike on the inside corners. No balls and 2 strikes. Martin will argue that call with the plate umpire Jordan Baker, but when it's 14-2, that's going to fall on deaf ears.
I think Josh Tolley might tell him to get in the box.
The pitch is fouled off right-hand side.
Sometimes you can have fun like that as a catcher, and I say that because I think I've done it. You're back there. It's a long, hot day. Your team is getting beat up pretty good by the opposition, and then you're going to have a guy question a call that actually looked pretty good anyway. I'd say, get in the box. You're up a ton of runs, and I've been back here for 3 hours.
Yeah. Do something. Strike 2 pitch. Line to right. That's foul down the line. Speaking of home runs, and Cruz has a grand slam and a 3-run home run. Kyle Seager has a 2-run homer. Yesterday, Colorado's rookie shortstop, Trevor Story, and he is the story this year. He hit his 24th home run. That ties him for second most home runs by a shortstop in a rookie season. He tied Tulowitzki. Troy did that in his rookie year in 2007 with the Rockies as well, helping Colorado get to the World Series against Boston. Ground ball out, too short. Tulowitzki funnels to second. Travis turns, throws to first. Call it 2. A third double play. This ends the inning, but 3 double plays coming into the inning, and now a 4th today pales in comparison to 14 runs on 18 hits for Seattle. They lead at triple Toronto to Boston on WestJet. Book now at westjet.com or call your travel agent. Bottom of the 8th inning, 14-2 Seattle. Lefty Wade Blanc up and in ball 1 to Josh Donaldson. Luis Sardinas will finish it up at shortstop. Sean O'Malley, the shortstop, moves over to second base. Robinson Cano with the rest of the day off. Josh takes it outside. Donaldson has walked twice around the swinging bunt. He was thrown out by the catcher back in the 3rd inning. Just a Josh Tolley sacrifice fly in the 2nd and a Michael Saunders leadoff home run to left center in the 6th. The only runs for the Blue Jays today on 4 hits. Pitches outside. Encarnacion on deck, and then Saunders. Blue Jays yesterday a run on 4 hits, losing 2-1. 2 runs, 4 hits today. A strike called, 3-1. Joe Biagini, who worked 2 scoreless innings yesterday, he's warming up in the Blue Jays bullpen in left center field. Josh hits a ground ball down to Sardinas. He has it, plays it on to first in plenty of time. 1 down. We were mentioning last inning, Trevor Story, the rookie, 24 home runs out in Colorado. They don't have Troy Tulowitzki, and Jose Reyes is gone as well now with the New York Mets. But that kid, with 24 home runs, the rookie, here's Edwin. It's a high fly ball to center. Waiting for it, Martin. He's under it. He makes the catch, 2 down. That's the second most home runs, as we said, by a shortstop in a rookie season. Troy did that, 24 back in 2007. The record in 1997, he was pretty good with the Red Sox. Nomar Garciaparra, 30 home runs.
Now, he's a special player. I got the privilege to be in spring training with him my last season with the Red Sox in 2000, and Nomar was still there. And what a great athlete, what a great player. But to see the way he played shortstop and the way he hit, you talk about keeping a bat in the hitting zone, but then also showing that kind of power, too. What a player.
Enjoyed his company, too. Very outgoing, good team player, hard worker. 2 down for Michael Saunders. Fly ball deep left field. Has he done it again? Yes, sir. There goes another one for Saunders. A 2-home run day. 3 home runs over the last 2 days, and all to left center field. And the fans finally with something to cheer about here as the pride of Victoria, BC, gives the Blue Jays just their 3rd run, trailing 14-3. But that's a nice, sweet moment for the fans before they exit here this afternoon.
Well, it sure is. And Michael Saunders is continuing to do it. And really what he's doing is he's staying on the baseball so well. But it's amazing to see the power to the opposite field. The ball just kept going.
Tulowitzki fouls one back, strike 1. That brought a sold-out crowd of 47,517 to their feet. 47517. Tomorrow, Jay Happ against Wade Miley. Couple of left-handers. We're on here at 12:30. 107 first pitch. The game is sold out. Swing and a miss, 0-2. It's a Kevin Pillar bobblehead day. So get out here early.
Kevin's usually bobbling around center field making diving catches.
But it's all Seattle today, save for Saunders. Strike 2 pitch. Hit on the ground through the right side. Vacant because of the shift. Tulowitzki goes the other way. His first hit today, and give him an 8-game hitting streak.
First baseman, number 14, Justin Smoke.
The big hitter today is Nelson Cruz. He, like Saunders, has a couple of home runs. However, a grand slam, the first one in the third inning of R.A. Dickey, his 24th. A 3-run home run in the 8th inning of Drew Storen, his 25th. Smoke turns around to bat right-handed. Justin takes ball one. LeBlanc, the left-hander, with 2 down. Looks at first. 1-0 pitch. Fly ball deep left field. Could be another one. That's heading for the bullpen. And there she goes. Justin Smoke with a 6-game hitting streak on this, his 11th home run. And the Blue Jays now trail it 14-5.
Center fielder number 11, Kevin Pillar.
Justin got a fastball out over the plate. It was a 1-0 pitch from Wade LeBlanc, and he just got the bat head out front. It didn't look like it was going to get out at first. It was more of a line drive as Aoki gave it a watch, and it just made it into that Blue Jays bullpen.
Well, the batter now is Pillar. He takes strike one called. Two home runs in the inning, 3 for the day for the Blue Jays, 3 for Seattle. The other one besides Cruz, grand slam and 3-run home run, Kyle Seager, a 2-run home run. That in the 5-run 6 of Jesse Chavez. He pitches outside. And boy, doesn't a game like this point out the weakness in the Blue Jays bullpen? 5 runs on 7 hits. You average 5 runs a game, you're going to win 90-plus games. But not when you're giving up 14.
We talked about this in the 5th inning when the Mariners were leading 6-1.
A foul first base side, 1 and 2.
And that's where it's imperative that as a Blue Jays staff, they come in this bullpen and keep it a 6-1 ball game. If you allow a team to add on, it makes it very difficult. You can ask this Blue Jays offense to come back from a 4 or 5 run deficit, but once it gets to 6 and 7, you're asking an awful lot, and this is exactly why here. I know this game's already out of hand, but with this offense, the bullpen has got to come into a game like this and shut things down.
And it has not happened with Messrs. Chavez and Storen. The pitch outside. It was 6-1 Mariners after 3.5 innings, but then Seattle 5 off Jesse in the 6th, 3 off Storen in the 8th. Pillar 0 for 2, and he's walked. He hits one foul off the end of the bat past first base coach Tim Leeper.
The bullpens are so important because it does not matter the situation. If it's a tie game, you ask them to come in, shut things down, allow your offense to score to win the ball game. If you're down a run or 2, you want them to hold the fort. If they're up a run or 2, you want them to hold the fort to pass it on to your closer. So it's just a crucial part of the game that the Blue Jays are going to have to be better at.
Pillar hits a fly ball to center, coming on Martin. He has it. The inning is over. To the 9th we go. 14-5 Seattle. You're listening to Home Hardware Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Blue Jays Talk with Mike Wilner should be called Blue Jays Talk with You, because it can't be Blue Jays Talk without you.
$485 in total price adjustments on the 2017 Escape Titanium all-wheel drive. When you pay what Ford employees pay, it's easy to get into a Ford. Joe Biagini comes on here. 9th inning, Seattle leading at 14-5, out hitting the Blue Jays 18-7. Darwin Barney will come on to finish it off at short. Ezekiel Carrera moves from right to left. Michael Saunders, the odd man out there, with 2 home runs today, going 2 for 4. And Junior Lake comes off the bench to finish it up and right. Biagini to Chris Iannetta. Right-hand hitting catcher, takes outside ball 1. Joe pitched yesterday 2 scoreless innings. The 8th and the 9th did a nice job. He had 1 strikeout and 5 ground ball outs. He just gave up a single to right to catcher Mike Zunino. That was it. Pitches outside.
Well, Joe's been very good after having some struggles. He's been much better lately. He's still using all 4 pitches. And this is a guy that, we talked about all the moves the Blue Jays may make. This is a guy that could fill in the rotation if Aaron Sanchez does indeed go to the bullpen.
A ground ball hit down to third. Donaldson has it. Takes his time, throws it over to first to a stretched out Justin Smoke. 1 down. We're just thinking and smiling up here It's not often that up the middle of the diamond you have two players who have 4 first names. Darwin Barney at short, Devin Travis at second. So you have to be very mindful of your P's and Q's when you're calling double plays.
Speak very slowly.
Lag. Sean O'Malley, the batter. Switch hitter, batting left-handed. He's 3 for 4 in the 9th spot. A swing and a miss, strike 1. Tomorrow, Jay Happ, 12-3, ERA 3.43 against lefty Wade Miley for Seattle. 6-7 is ERA 5.36. San Diego here, Monday, Tuesday night, and a Wednesday afternoon game. The pitch is inside. Orioles next weekend. Blue Jays only 5 road games this entire month. They went 3-2 on that 5-game trip. Lost 2 of 3 in Oakland after the All-Star break and just took the last 2 in Arizona. Biagini's low, 2-1. Finding it difficult to win the first home game here after that road trip. After the homestand concludes next Sunday, off to Houston for 4, a hot ball club, and Kansas City for 3. The pitch is low. Since May the 25th, the Astros and Blue Jays basically the best records in Major League Baseball. And that's going to be an interesting 4 games there. Houston, a lot to play for in that Western Division. They come in just 2.5 back of Texas now. They've come from nowhere. A swing and a miss, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Their record 52-44, and at one time, I believe it was 8, 9, 10 games under 500.
Well, Houston has certainly come around. The pitching for Houston is generally there, but the bats have woken up.
Biagini set. 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. And there's some of that swing and a miss potential that Biagini has that we did not see today from either Chavez or Storm.
And Joe's got a good fastball. He's 93 to 95 miles per hour, but it's the big curveball that we've seen I've been very impressed with. He's got a lot of depth to that pitch, and that's when you talk about a swing and miss pitch. But then he also mixes in that slider, runs it away from the righties into the lefties, and we've seen him even use his 4th pitch. So he's got starter stuff, and he's got swing and miss type stuff.
Here's Nori Aoki. Leadoff man, left-handed hitter, pulls the ground ball to the right side, through a base hit. That's his 3rd today, and he's already scored a couple of the Seattle 14 runs. That's going to bring up Seth Smith. "19 hits for Seattle. Well, that swing and a miss weapon is so critical, especially late in the game for a member of the bullpen. Starters don't necessarily have to have it. It's nice to have, but it's essential, especially 8th and 9th innings.
Well, later on, you do not want balls put in play in certain situations, especially if you're coming in 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. That's when you need that strikeout. And if balls are being put in play, there's a good chance that run can score.
Smith up here. Left-handed hitter, takes strike 1 called. Seth knocked in a run with a base hit to right in the 5-run 6th inning. Every member of the Mariners lineup has scored at least 1 run except for Adam Lind, and he's 2 for 4 with a walk. 14 runs, 19 hits for Seattle, up 14-5, 9th inning. A strike called. No balls and 2 strikes. It was Smith who collected the hit to put everybody in the hit column. Nelson Cruz leading the way, 7 RBIs, a grand slam, and a 3-run homer. Aoki gets his lead at first. He's knocked in 2 today. The pitch is inside. Kyle Seager, a 2-run homer. The 9th hitter, Sean O'Malley, 3 hits and a run scored. Chris Iannetta, a couple of base hits, a walk. He scored a couple of runs. It's just been all Seattle after winning 2-1 yesterday, beating the Blue Jays with that 1-run game and 9 hits. The Blue Jays held to 4 hits yesterday, just 7 today. Two down. Blue Jays not holding on the runner at first. 1-2 pitch, foul back. Yesterday, when the Blue Jays lost 2-1, they are now 9-18 in 1-run games. That's 30th and last in the major leagues in 1-run decisions. The Blue Jays, however, were last in the league last year and in the majors as well. They were 15-28 in one-run games and ended up winning 93 games and came within 2 games of the World Series. So much for that, but the point still is the Blue Jays need to win their share, more than their share of one-run games from here on out. A foul off to the left-hand side. The last team to go back-to-back in years and finish last in one-run games, the Detroit Tigers in 55 and 56, but both years they finished last. That was a different era than now.
Yeah, it certainly was. And that's when sometimes you talk about one-run games. I almost like to talk to them just as close games. You know, those games that kind of go right down to the wire. Might be a 2-run game that matter just as much. But those one-run games, sometimes it can be a little deceptive. And look at the Jays' record. It kind of tells that.
1-2 pitch. Fouled up along first base. A strike. It's still 1-2. It's one of those situations that, yes, 9-18 doesn't look all that good. And, yes, there are gray areas to look at. But the Blue Jays need to win, let's just put it this way, more close games if they're going to get back to repeating as division winners or even making the wild card spot.
Yeah, and I think the resounding theme is we go back to the bullpen, because I think the bullpen has a lot to do with those one-run games, the ones they win and the ones they lose.
And today the bullpen has been punished. Save for Franklin Morales, as we said. He's the shining light here in this one with the Mariners up 14-5, ninth inning. 1-2 pitch, lined into center field, coming on Pilar, slides, makes another brilliant catch. The inning is over. He's got the tread mark behind him to show for it. A black strip right behind him on the green artificial turf. There's a sign out here with the Superman logo. There's not an S on it. There's a P for Pilar. We go to the bottom of the ninth inning, 14-5 Seattle. You're listening to Home Hardware Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, it's
LeBlanc in his third inning of relief. Seattle leads at 14-5. They've out hit the Blue Jays 19-7. Devon's 2 for 3, singles to right and center. And the right-handed hitter, and a good one, takes strike one called. Josh Tolle is on deck, and then the leadoff hitter, Ezekiel Carrera. Strike one pitch outside. Wade LeBlanc casting a shadow towards first. Kicks, deals, the ball hit the left center field. Long high drive. That's heading for the wall. That is up, and that ball bounces over the wall. A ground rule double for Devon, and he's 3 for 4 today.
Catcher number 22, Josh Tolle.
Devon's got such a good, repeatable swing. And when I say repeatable, it's almost like a pitching coach talking about a pitcher repeating his delivery so that they can be consistent. Well, Devon does that with his swing path. It's very repeatable. He keeps that bat in the hitting zone a long time, and it allows him to hit a variety of pitches, different speeds, different locations.
And with 3 hits, look at that average up to 283, and that's about where he's going to be in his career, if not even a little bit higher.
I think Devon's got a great chance to be an everyday second baseman in the big leagues for a long time.
Totally up here. Josh hits the first pitch into the air softly into right center field. Right fielder Seth Smith comes in, gives way to the center fielder Martin. Leonis makes the catch. One down. Watch all of it there at second base by Devon Travis.
Left fielder number 3, Ezekiel Carrera.
We got a glimpse of Devon last year when, in a handful of games, 62, he hit 304. And now you're seeing that average creep up toward that 300 mark again. He's healthy, and that's such a good sign. Carrera, Ezekiel pops it foul left side, strike one.
This game is difficult enough when you're 100% healthy, and that even goes for the stars of the game. You look at Josh Donaldson, Edwin Bautista. Anytime they have some ailments or things going on, it is a little bit more difficult. And that's why when I see guys like that struggle, that's the first thing for me, the red flag goes up. Are they feeling okay? Is something wrong?
Carrera breaks a bat, grounds one past first base coach Tim Leeper. It's no balls and 2 strikes.
So Devon's done a nice job. He's been able to come back from his injury, and it was an awful long time, but it looks like he is now back to what he used to be.
And he has been the spark to help the Blue Jays turn things around. Remember, at one time this team was 19-23. He came in shortly after that, and they began to move forward averaging not just 4 runs a game, but 6.
May have come back a little bit early from his injury, but he was able to iron out some of those wrinkles, and he looks like he's all good now.
The pitch is low. That means bottom line. And after averaging 6 runs here in July, and the club 11-5, although here looking at a 14-5 deficit bottom of the 9th inning, the Blue Jays now are back basically at 4.9 runs per game, and that's where you have to be in the American League if you have even a chance to win. LeBlanc to his hitter. Hit on the ground to the right side, diving stop by Adam Lind from his knees. Throw to the bag. LeBlanc beats Herrera to the bag. To third, Travis, and a great play by Adam Lind here. 2 down. That's a good job by LeBlanc. A lefty falls off toward the third base side, but he was able to get over. And the catcher, Chris Iannetta, goes out to give him a breather on the mound. That's pretty good, too.
It's been a long day for everyone, but that's exactly what you want to do as a catcher, give your pitcher a quick breather. It was a nice feed by Adam Lind. He basically led him like a quarterback would lead a receiver right to that bag, and that's what he had to do to get the speedy Carrera.
Well, here's Donaldson. 0 for 2 and 2 walks. 2 down, bottom of the 9th, 14-5 Seattle. LeBlanc's pitch. Fly ball right field. Moving over Seth Smith. Now he's going along the wall. Makes a backhanded catch. And Seattle wins it 14-5 as they out-hit the Blue Jays 19-8. They win the first 2 games of this series, 2-1 last night, and in a romp here today, 14-5. Back with more right after this. You're listening to Home Hardware Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
You might be the fastest to first, but you'll never outpace the Kurodori Alligator Chopper, exclusive to Home Hardware. The chopper cubes, dices, and juliennes fruits and vegetables with ease. It even includes a special garlic mincer. The stainless steel blades give consistent cuts and are fully guaranteed. Don't take food prep into extra innings. Get the 3-piece Kurodori chopper set. Only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center locations.